We are live. Welcome to Painkiller already, episode 207.
Hooray!
Nice. We've got our friends Crunchyroll back again this week. Remember, it's crunchyroll.com/pka. In case you don't remember, they are the Netflix of anime. One of the cool things that they do, in case you didn't know, is when new anime comes out in Japan, the series that are coming out, week by week, episode by episode, they get those up on their site within an hour, and they're all professionally subtitled. I thought that was pretty cool. I like reading subtitles. That doesn't bother me with movies. It doesn't. I know some people won't. Do you watch movies that are subtitled, Taylor?
I do.
Planet of the
I know a
Apes.
lot of people don't.
All right, you're more cultured if you use Crunchyroll.
Right?
Being more
So,
vocabulary augmented.
But yeah, you get 30 days free if you use our code. It's crunchyroll.com/pka. You can use any device pretty much, iPhone, Android, your tablet. You can watch on your television through Xbox or Apple TV, Roku, whatever the hell you have. And I like it a lot. I started watching a little bit. I've watched a couple different things. I'm sampling right now. I watched some Attack on Titan. I watched, I can't pronounce the other one, I'm going to be honest. It's Naruto.
Do your best.
Yeah, we were joking about it last week about how I was like Naruto Shippuden. so I've been watching it. I'm still under the opinion a little bit that the anime is just a little bit kinky in the background. I feel some vibes of some schoolgirl stuff coming out every now and then.
We should totally watch it together. I want to do like a PKA movie night, but Crunchyroll.
I'm definitely down to do that.
Yeah.
We could even stream it because I think some of the reactions we'll have. I think we should watch a weird one. I think we should find one that's really far out.
I want to find one I really like and watch,
Well, that won't be hard
8
with
seasons
Crunchyroll's selection.
Well, we call them the Netflix of anime, but they're kind of better because they get current, right? If they were the Netflix of anime, it'd be like all the top anime from 2009.
It is. You're absolutely right in that way. The functionality and the ease of use is similar to Netflix, but the selection of entertainment is really up to date stuff. Like within stuff that came out an hour ago on another continent in another language is suddenly available for you for free for the next 30 days on your iPhone, tablet, or whatever. Professionally subtitled. I find that interesting. I want to know more about the job of professionally subtitling.
Yeah.
I bet that's a job that makes some money. It can't be a program because that's not professional subtitling. That's how you end up with. That's how you end up butchering something. So I can only imagine there's some gentleman sitting in a room somewhere watching a shitload of anime, and he's bilingual and he's writing the subtitles.
There's a person on Reddit who claims to have that job. A couple of weeks ago I was on the site and some guy was saying that he was a subtitler and he didn't do it for Crunchyroll, he did it for deaf people. And he says that humans actually sit there and listen to it and type it as quick as people talk. They have
I
special
believe
keyboard.
because you can tell when you're in a restaurant like a Qdoba or a Chipotle and CNN's up there and it's just that white text on the black box background and it's just written horribly and misspelled and terrible. That's what a program would do. You need a very highly trained Asian who speaks English to take care of this.
7 of them, all under 15 years old, working away so you can enjoy your anime.
That's crunchyroll.com/pka for all your child labor transcribing needs. So hop on there, check it out. Really do. I think it's only fair that you give these guys a shot, even if you're not into anime. I know there's a lot of anime fans. We saw a big response last time we had these guys on. But I know a lot of you are just kind of like, kind of on the edge about anime. But try it out, check it out, especially if you're hungering in this winter doldrum of entertainment for something new and entertaining.
Yeah, and we have a new graphic for Crunchyroll. I'm trying to click on me. Oh, this way, and it's spelled correctly now. So that's a new. There, I pointed to it. That's a new thing.
Who do we blame for that? Who do we blame for that?
Chiz.
It was totally Chiz's fault. I guess you could blame me too in that I didn't catch his mistake, but he made the graphic, and I put it on the thing.
Oh, it's really his fault? I was just throwing blame.
No. It actually is Chiz's fault.
Yeah.
We whipped him mercilessly after. It was a real flogging.
Yeah.
So Netflix. I was going to say Netflix.com/Woody. Crunchyroll.com.
That'd be a serious mistake.
Well, absolutely it would, because you can't get that good anime over there on Netflix.
No, it's all about Crunchyroll, baby.
Which show do you think they should start out with first, Kyle? Which one did you drew you in the most?
We were watching a couple different things. Chiz had a bunch of different suggestions, but then I read some stuff, and people in the YouTube comments, people were saying, don't go with him, don't listen to that. They didn't like the idea of watching Ruby. So I started watching Attack on Titan.
That's the one I want to watch. So that's the one I want to see. It's a terrible reason, but it has an English name, and I feel like I follow it better. Like, you
don't want to watch Naruto.
Would you like Naruto Shippuden, and I'm like, I don't know about Naruto Shippuden.
That's actually how the show starts. Someone screams like that, Naruto Shippuden, and then someone takes a sword, cuts a watermelon in half, and the show begins.
See, that scares me. I feel like I need to. I want to wade into the shallow end. Attack on Titan sounds like you guys are not going to know this. There is a cartoon series from when I was a kid, from when you were just a horny thought, and there was a giant ship. It looked like a ship. Was
it the Jetsons?
No, it was a giant ship, and the front of it had a single laser cannon, and that single laser cannon would be brought out like maybe once or twice a season when they're like, all right, we're going to put all our energy into blowing up this one other thing, and I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to ask Google. Google is sometimes amazing at these things. Cartoon with ship in space with giant laser
cannon?
Oh, you Google like an old person.
That's professional Googling right there. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, sometimes this stuff works out better than you'd think.
While he looks for that, I just wanted to say that Bill Cosby is apparently a rapist. I've listened to a lot of Hannibal Buress' comedy, so I was already aware of the allegations against him and that they were like long-standing, and it appeared to me that it was one of those things where like the media just nobody wanted to say anything bad.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Star Blazers. For those of you out there, that it was called Star Blazers. Merca will be eating crow tonight on my Google skills. Let me see. It was literally the first link I clicked on, the first link that Google returned. I Google like a fucking pro.
I could tell. It sounded good to me. I think of myself as a professional Googler. I think I'm very good at it. And it is a skill. I'm not bullshitting right now. Some people probably listening like, what do you mean? You just ask Google the questions. Yeah, I've seen the YouTube comments. Most of you guys are morons. You don't know how to Google. You ask those stupid fucking questions. I'm a professional Googler here. I know what I'm talking about.
You can Google things. Like, you'll be like, what's that song that goes dun 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 dun. Hey, 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 goodbye. And then I'll be like, yep, that's this. And you're like, I can't believe you got it by that. I literally typed out da 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 da. But Google knows.
Yeah, if there's ever a thing like a line from a movie, you can just type the line that you remember from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show up in some forum off IMDb from 8 years ago where some nerd was talking about the movie and he quoted it. And you're like, oh yeah, it's called this. And that's how you Google professionally.
You mean you can put a line from any movie into there, and it'll find it?
Well, I know of a website where you can literally do that. You just put the lyric or the quote from the movie in there, and it'll find it. But yeah, Google works that way too, jackass. Nice hair, by the way.
Oh.
I see you're rocking your Superman doo-wop. That's very nice.
It's better now.
So what do you think about Bill Cosby raping all those women? Do you believe that Bill Cosby
I don't think
is
he
innocent?
raped anyone. Zoop dop dibbity bop. Like he just.
I got a pudding pop for you.
like Clinton had a cigar.
I mean, the most I would think is maybe a little bit of overly aggressive, heavy petting in an ugly sweater. Maybe at the most.
Nah, this is how it goes down. Bill Cosby
rapes.
gets you back to his lair. He breaks out the Jello, the pudding pops. He's rubbing the Jello all over your titties, fucking you in the ass.
No, all over his titties.
Well, everybody's titties are covered in Jello, lime green Jello, the whole thing. But seriously though, Bill Cosby's one of those guys who I feel like the media for years. This has been going on for like 20 years, I think. These allegations, they're afraid to say anything because Bill Cosby's this like older statesman of comedy, this shining example for the African American community, certainly.
And he seems to have power. He's like a step below Oprah somehow. Like he speaks with a certain gravitas. He pays people so they do things that he wants them to do. I mean, I remember he was doing this jazz thing for a while, and he's like, what I like about this is when I tell them to play, they play. And that's like he gets off on the power side of it too. We were watching that interview together. And didn't it very much seem like, I have a problem with your boss for allowing you to ask that question?
Yeah, he's like when I picked the AP, I thought Associated Press, I thought that they would have more integrity than to ask me about all those women I've been raping. I thought this was all about my new NBC show. I didn't think you'd want to be talking about all the rape. I mean, nobody's interested in that. Who's out there asking about the women I've been raping?
I know.
The thing is, I think he's innocent.
Really?
I don't know if he's innocent of everything, but I'm cautious about it. And here's why. He's a celebrity, and people accuse celebrities of all kinds of random shit, right? If what people say about you is true, I'm a rapist, I'm a pedophile, I'm a serial stealer, I take advantage of charities, and none of it's true. And I read, people talk about me, and they say, oh, he's such a dirtball. Someone will say, really? What did he ever do? Well, if half the shit I heard is true, then he's terrible. It's not,
I can
though.
one up you. I can one up you. I was on 4chan on K, and I looked, and someone was literally telling lies about me. Well, I saw him one time at this place. He was wearing his own shirt. He was talking really snotty to the Accuracy International booth. They didn't want anything to do with him, and I'm just like, first of all, never been to that gun show, never met you. Don't wear my own merchandise in public ever. I have a lot of humility when I'm talking to sponsors and firearms companies and all the like. So it was just complete bullshit.
I've had that same experience. Someone was talking about me at a.
Let me finish this up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I saw that he'd done this a couple times. So I screenshot him and I went through this whole thing and I posted it on 4chan and everybody tore him apart after that. I had all these screenshots proving that he was full of shit and that he was just maliciously trying to spread this bullshit. And he looked like a complete asshole by the end of it. So fuck that guy.
There was a guy who said that he was hanging out with me at COD XP, and then I was acting aloof, and then he said my shit didn't stink. That was a line he kept using, and that I was just like a giant dick when I was there. Do you know what actually happened at COD XP? I had an MVP pass, so I didn't have to wait in any lines. And what I would do is I would grab random fans and take them to play the game with me in line. Like we would play Spec Ops, right? Because you could play a little multiplayer, and I would just grab them and bring them to the front of the line, or I would take them and we'd play Spec Ops. The line for Spec Ops is like an hour and a half long, but I could just do laps. As soon as I finished, I'd grab a fan, I'd play with one, I'd grab a fan, I'd play with one. And then I hear what an asshole I was at that show, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, that. I couldn't have been any cooler. And I don't know. I've read about me all kinds of, again and again and again. So when I see Cosby accused of raping people, it's like, Cosby, you got off easily because I'm a kitty fiddler, apparently. I just don't believe everything I say. And then here's the woman. She says that
Janice Dickinson, is that who you're referring to?
Going for Therese Sirganes, this one, and she says that he drugged her and raped her. But if I'm reading this right, they did Quaaludes and. They had sex before that, and they had sex after that, and this had gone on for years, and it was really only this one time. And she said she felt powerless that this one time, but otherwise, there's a big relationship, and he had given her money before and after, and it's like. I can see how maybe Cosby was confused about this relationship. You guys had sex before, consensually, and sex after.
Hey, man, I have some sleepy sex with my girlfriend every now and then. Now, maybe she doesn't know exactly what's going on at the time, but I assure you that if I shook her awake and talked to her about it, she'd be totally cool with that penetration. Maybe that's what was going on. And just in retrospect, she's trying to jump on the money train. However, there are many women who are saying that he did this, and they all have similar-esque stories that involve drugging them, coercing them, and money. It seems. And now Janice Dickinson, who I don't know what that skank is famous for. I guess she was a model at one point when that meant something. Who fucking cares if you're a model now? I really couldn't care less. I think models are trash, just trash human beings, just disposable, if you will. But anyway, Janice
Wow.
Dickinson used to be a model. She's just a dried up old piece of shit now, and she's just as oh god, I hate watching her mouth move and the words come out. She's just disgusting to look at. She's one of the but in any case, she claims that Cosby drugged her, and I don't know. She was like blacking out. And the last thing she remembers was him getting on top of her and like feeling pain, and she woke up with like semen between her legs. Like she's got this whole like rough story, and she's in the public eye a bit, I guess. She's been on a couple reality shows.
It's pretty hard to prove that something happened like this 10 years ago, right? I mean, there's no physical evidence.
Farther back than
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, or
it's got to
even further.
even be more than 10 years ago. You said they were doing Quaaludes. Like
They don't even make those anymore.
they don't. They stopped making those in like the late 80s.
So it's pretty hard to prove that something like this happened 10 years ago. And I know that there's a dozen people that have come out and said this, but a dozen's a lot, but I feel like this has happened to me too. You know, people who say, I saw Woody and he did this, or I saw, and like, I just feel like there should be some little shred of evidence that this happened, because now I feel like it's a money train that everybody's hopping on. And this happens to
Okay.
celebrities. If
But-
someone would just have any evidence, like another witness that they talked to about at the time, talked about this, you know, at the time when someone come out, yeah, you know, I was her therapist and we helped for this at the time, or you know, like her mom or something. But it's literally just people saying, me too, he raped me as well, and my story's just like the one I read in People magazine. You know, let's go. And
That
like,
does make it more conspicuous when suddenly a bunch more people jump up claiming the same thing, and not just the same thing, but also the same story and basic, you know, structural archetype of what went down. Although I'm speaking from a position where I didn't even know about this until 20 minutes ago.
I feel like I'm trying to apply the same standard that I wish people would apply to me. Like, all right, give me a shred of evidence, just a thing, a something. You know, prove that this happened at all, because right now we got nothing. That's what I'm stuck on.
I haven't. I feel like we haven't looked into it enough. I bet there is some. Let's see. I'm looking through the timeline of these events right now, and like I mean, these allegations go back to 2000. I see some in 2005. So originally this lady Beth Ferrier, she came forward anonymously, and said that she was drugged and sexually assaulted in her car in Denver in the in the 1980s. And then, let's see, going on, there's lawsuits. Barbara Bowman, another anonymous woman. There's a lot of anonymous women who are coming forward and saying this stuff. My thing is this. There's too many women saying that this guy did this. There's some truth to it. There's got to be. I feel like, and I don't trust Bill Cosby. Like there's nothing about Bill Cosby. I think for a lot of people, they're like, but he's the pudding guy. And he was Dr. The TV show, the Cosbys, and the Puddin' Pops, and the Jell-O, and the stand-up specials, and his humor is so clean. None of that means shit to me. I don't like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's never made me laugh
Let me jump in. You won't find someone who dislikes his work, his body of work, more than me. I think it sucks. I think that his whole, like, oh my God, eebity jeebity goo gaga, like, dude, shut the fuck up. You couldn't be more annoying. You have just said, like, made up basic fucking baby sounds for 30 years now. You don't have a new joke. He's worse than Jim Carrey at his worst, right? Like sometimes I think Jim Carrey maybe just does the same thing all the time, and like oh, here he is, lightning in a bottle, whatever. Oh, heaven forbid to bring up Robin Williams, but you know, he does that sort of stream of consciousness kind of like wacky thought train. Not my cup of tea.
What I don't like about Cosby is that he sort of considers himself like this elder statesman of comedy.
So let me wrap up my thought, though.
Okay.
So, and then there was one, Adam Sandler, right? He sometimes does this like high-pitched, goofy voice thing. There are some people in comedy who seem like one-trick ponies, and I can't think of anyone who's more one-trick than Bill Cosby. He's just got the thing.
To be fair to those criticisms to Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler, I know all their work. Like, if you go back and watch Jim Carrey on In Living Color and some of his stand-up stuff, he's not a one-trick pony. You may not like his brand of humor.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't. I think it's definitely designed for a younger audience than you and I. Both of those guys
Jim
are.
Carrey's
Adam
had good
Sandler.
things. Jim Carrey was in the Truman Show, and that was a very different thing where he broke out from what people typically go to watch him for. Adam Sandler had was it 50 First Dates, something like that? It was close to that.
Punch Drunk Love was excellent. Adam Sandler's done serious work. So has Jim Carrey. They're both good actors.
And Robin Williams actually has done a couple good serious works too, right? But
and Oscar.
Yeah, yeah, that Oscar. But Bill Cosby, what I was going at is all these other people have sort of one trick that they're especially known for, right? Like Brad Pitt doesn't have one thing he's just known for. Who's a regular, well-known? Tom Cruise doesn't have one thing he's just known for. Shucks.
George Clooney.
Kevin Spacey. George Clooney, like you go on, they don't all just have one thing that they do over and over every movie. They're actors with range. Bill Cosby is not an actor with range. He's just a guy who says, and you're like, oh, this is fucking joke
excellent impression.
So I don't like his body of work, and that's not why I'm defending him. I'm defending him because I haven't seen a shred of evidence.
I think that I'm not going to defend him. I think he's probably guilty of something here. I don't think he did anything to Janice Dickinson. I think Janice Dickinson's definitely doing this for attention, and that's disgusting. I hope that it comes out that here's my dream. As much as I'd like to see Bill Cosby punished for some potential wrongdoing and have him really disgraced in the eyes of the people who support his shitty body of work, what I would really love, I would pay money. If you told me, Kyle, if you give me $5,000, I will make it so. Now, I don't want to fabricate anything. I just want it to be so. I would pay $5,000 if someone would come forward close to Janice Dickinson with like an audio recording of her plotting against Bill Cosby. I'm going to say he raped me. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that. I'm getting a book deal. I'm going to do The View. I'm doing Stern. I'm doing this. I want that to come out, and then Janice Dickinson to get punished much worse than a potential rapist Bill Cosby ever would. I want her to go down because I think she's lying, and I think she's a real sleazy scumbag, even more so than Bill Cosby, who I think is a sexual predator. That's how little I think of Janice Dickinson. But I think I've listened to Hannibal Buress talk about Cosby a lot, and it's hilarious. And he's unapologetic about it. He's like, everybody wants to defend this guy. Fuck that. He's a rapist, and he just says it in his comments. It's great.
I don't know what the penalty should be for false rape accusations.
A year in prison, $50,000. I don't know. Any of those things work for me.
What if I said it should be equal to the charge that they levied? Right.
Sure. Do that. Yeah. I don't care. Cut their tits off. Decapitation. Like firing the squad. Whatever. I think it's a terrible thing when you accuse a man of rape.
It's a big deal.
All appropriate measures.
You're destroying him. You're taking away. Everything that he has. You're ruining his life. You're making him out to be not just a sexual predator and a criminal and someone not to be trusted around, women and children. You know how people think. Like
not to be trusted around anywhere. You're right. Like I think anyone would rather be accused of anything else, like grand larceny or being a thieving liar or anything but a rapist.
Yeah,
where it's,
absolutely.
The thing about rapists in particular is they're taking advantage of the weak, right? Like at grand larceny, you don't know. Like, you're going after a car or something like that. But a rapist is like, oh, I identified a soft target and attacked that. That's what rapists do. And it just seems especially shameful.
Yeah, when women falsely accuse men of rape, and I love it when they are punished incredibly harshly because I think it's one of the worst. It really pisses me off. I hate that.
Right, but but I think if we were to make a policy out of hey, did you try to get this guy lifetime in prison? You get lifetime in prison. Bam, eye for an eye.
Maybe you'll see Janice Dickinson on that Reddit that you talked about last week. Whatever it was, like vagina veto.
But my concern if we were to make social policy out of this thing is that, sorry, Merca interrupted me. I can't fucking think. It will be harder for innocent people to levy charges, right? If I think, I got raped, but I'm really rolling the dice here. One of us is going to go to jail for life. Like if that becomes a thing, then that's bad.
Well, I think there's a difference. Just as there's a difference between being proven innocent and being proven not guilty, there would also be a big difference between the charge of false rape allegations versus the charge of versus finding that the rapist was innocent of said rape. There's a big difference there. There could be a situation where you said he raped me, and they determined, well, he did do some inappropriate things, but that's not rape. That's sexual assault, 3 or something. We're not going to cart her off to jail. But when there's a malicious intent there, that's definitely grounds for some serious punishment.
Or he raped me. Well, I can see why maybe you felt that way, but I can also see why he felt he had the go-ahead. You were okay with, I don't know how even to lay out a scenario on like this, but you seemed to say yes that night, and now you say no. I get that a bad thing happened, but that's not how rape goes. So nothing happens, right? Everyone's off the hook. But if go on.
I was having sex with a girl, and so she was kind of laying on her stomach in the bed, and I'm sort of on top of her.
Mm-hmm. And she's out cold.
What's that?
She's out cold.
She's not out cold.
Well, okay, she's roofied, but still kind of there.
She is 100% there. We may have each had a drink or two. But
all right, Mr. Cosby.
And, a few Quaaludes, whatever, ground up in her drink.
She didn't know she was on Quaaludes, but she was.
So we're doing her thing, and she starts kind of wiggling around in almost a struggly type manner, not so much sort of pushing back and being part of the sex, but almost a struggling, I'm trying to get away kind of thing. And I'm like, I stop and I go, "Are you trying to get away?" She goes, "A little." I'm just like, what? No, you can't. No, we have to be clear right now. Like, if you want to stop, we'll stop. We're done here. But if you want to struggle and play a little game, that's cool too. But we need to be real clear about that. Now, when you say a little, do you mean I think it's fun to try to get away and you just hold me here, giggle, or do you mean I want out of here, please let me go? You got to be specific. We need to know here and now. And I feel like Cosby should have done that over the years while he was drugging those women in their cars and such.
But Jackie, way back in the day, right before we were married. Oh, well, I know premarital sex. She used to do this like no, and I'm like, wait, no. We need to be clear on this. And she's like, I just like to resist a little. It makes me feel like I don't know.
I just want a little bit of plausible deniability.
Kind of. She just likes saying no a little bit because it made her feel more pure or something. This was all his idea that I don't know, she was just down for a little no. I think it made her feel better about what was coming next. The fact that
what was coming? When I get out the riding crop, the gimp mask, and all that, she felt a little better that she'd said no before that happened, and so did I.
That's kind of it. She just felt a little better that she said no at first, and she didn't mean no, because when I stopped, she was like, "Wait, why?" And I'm like, "Well, you said no. You have got to stop this freaking foreplay talk you got going on here and say yes." That's the kind of stuff we're going, and that I can see why things can get confusing sometimes, because
that's what it's going to come to with all these politically correct people. Is they're going to demand that everybody, before any kind of intercourse, even if you're married or whatever, you have to be like, "Do you consent to the following actions?"
Well,
and
I have
a list and do that. Otherwise, it's rape.
I may or may not have had a young lady sign a consent form before, just to make sure we're all on the same page, something like that. But
don't blow past it like that. That's sketchy as shit. Tell me about it.
No, just make sure that we're all on the same page. That everybody's happy here.
No, but what led up to this?
You can't do this bullshit where
you
no
wanted to
means
fuck her
yes.
before.
Well, I saw Dennis doing it. Dennis had that contract that he was giving the women that said, I don't have a boyfriend, I will have sex with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
yes, I remember that. It's from a television show, and you're saying you did it in real life.
The Dennis
so
system.
I want to flesh that out.
The Dennis system applies to real life.
Even the contract.
Of course, the contract. That's the most important part of the Dennis system.
Oh, that's the crux of the matter.
When you couple the Dennis system together with the contract, you're really doing well. You've got it figured out. I really love Sunny in Philadelphia. I've been watching it a lot.
Kyle, I have to applaud you. I think it makes perfect sense to model your sexual endeavors after the rapist on Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Now,
I can't think of a better role model or like a system to follow than Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Dennis is great.
He has a rape room.
He's a complete sociopath.
Absolutely. So we were talking about this the other day, and I don't think we brought it up on the show, but the question that I posed to you and Chiz was, if you had to live with one of the characters from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which one and why? So I've already thought mine out a lot. I could go first if you'd like.
I could
like
too.
that.
All right.
I haven't thought this through.
Woody?
D. I'm all about D. Let's go through. Dennis is a sociopath. He's a rapist. He's, of course, they're all kind of dreadful in their personalities, but I don't want any part of that. Charlie is too dirty. He is so dirty. He's a dirty bird, and he would wreck the apartment. He'd have like moldy old cheese, and he doesn't see anything wrong with how disgusting he is. And I just don't want him as my roommate. You've got Frank, who's also dirty, partners well with Charlie.
At least equally as dirty.
Yeah.
If not more so. Yeah.
Really? I think of
Disgusting.
Charlie as the dirty king, but I could be
They
off.
sleep in the same bed.
It's great.
When you're 5 foot nothing and that greasy, you can tell you just smell bad.
He's 4'11".
For whatever.
And and also I don't like his like shady business stuff that he's always got cooking over there. But D. And Mac. So Mac is funny. He's obviously gay. He might be my second choice. But I don't see D as all that weird. It's almost like D's just hanging with the wrong crowd. And if she was with me, maybe she would transform into something near a normal person. That's why D's my pick.
So my pick is definitely Mac. The reason...
Because you're gay.
Let me go through why I don't like the other characters. Frank is disgusting. He's not even nice to look at. Like he's absolutely disgusting. He sleeps in the same bed as Charlie. Much like Charlie, the way he gets to bed at night is he gobbles down a can of cat food and huffs some glue, because then you feel all sick and sleepy. Like that's him and Charlie's like thing. There was an episode where he shit in the bed. He shits. He thinks shit's funny. He shit in the bed multiple times and on the floor. Just turds everywhere. Frank's gross. And the shady business thing doesn't bother me. If anything, Frank would be a good guy to have around. He's got a lot of liquid cash. He could bail you out if you needed to. But he's just too dirty, too gross. His sexual lifestyle is way out there. Just lots of weird stuff, like food fetish stuff and orgies. Dennis is literally a rapist, possibly a murderer, but definitely a rapist. He's got duct tape and zip ties and a video camera and a flashlight like hidden in his car. He has like these freak out moments. Everything about him screams complete sociopath.
The boat thing was great, right? It's the implication. We don't have
because
to actually rape them, but they'll say yes because they know that's phase 2. So they'll say yes before we have to rape them because of the implication. Carry on.
I can't have Dennis around. Dennis is way too just evil. He's evil. Charlie, just like Danny DeVito's character is just filthy. He's beyond filthy. He eats the old cheese out of the rat traps to figure out why the rats didn't eat him. He huffs paint and glue. I saw him eat a urinal cake out of a urinal because someone said the bathroom was filthy, and he was like, "Those urinals are clean enough to eat out of." He's just like, "Oh." And Mac's like, "I just
cut his toenails with a
like
steak
5
knife
minutes
and
ago."
then used it.
Yeah, he's disgusting, way too dirty. Now D, on the other hand, D's probably my second choice. Now the reason I don't like D is I feel like she's much more evil at heart than you think. I think you really got to pay attention to D because she gets overshadowed by Dennis's evil. But she is she's so materialistic.
She tried to take advantage of that soldier, Ben the soldier, like 15 times. Just rake him over the coals and take his soldier money.
Yeah, she's a thief and a scam artist. She's stealing from the government. She pretended like she had a baby so that she could get the benefits, and then they faked the baby dying so that she could get out of the the audit. Lots
got
of
addicted
stuff like
to
that.
crack for welfare.
Yeah, she was a crack addict. Mac never did any crack. Mac banged that tranny, but that tranny was fucking hot. All right, I can't.
That's a true fact.
That was I don't think it's a real tranny. Like I saw her in some yoga pants. There's no way she can tuck it that well. Like she's looking good.
Mac lubed up the wrestlers. I just think it's funny that he's gay, and he completely denies
Yeah,
it.
man. Let's lube up some beefcakes. They're getting dry.
And he's the super religious character among them.
Complete self-hating homosexual, completely in denial about it. But that's his major flaw. Other than that, he likes pretending like he's good at karate, and like he does his badass tapes, which is basically him, doing stunts and stuff. He seems like a pretty
Mac's my
okay
second choice.
guy.
And
Yeah.
I can see why he'd be your first. He's a valid first choice.
And although I guess it'd be pretty easy to fuck D, so maybe I could switch to D because she's got a great body. Like they always make fun of her looking like a bird or whatever. D's really hot.
That's funny. It's an ongoing joke. She's a pretty woman and she's in shape, but everyone on the show just unanimously agrees, like all the characters, that she is hideous.
There's the one episode where she keeps looking more and more bird-like as the episode goes on until there's literally an ostrich in the show. An emu. It's an emu. She does look a bit like a bird. She got the long neck, and she's super skinny, and she's flat-chested, and her butt's kind of small, but she's very toned, and she's very athletic looking, and she's in good shape, and I think she's pretty.
In my personal taste, for a woman, all she needs to do is be fit. Big boobs, small boobs, either way works. But if you're relatively fit, you're hot.
Yeah, it's mostly true. Just don't be fat.
Yeah, just don't be fat.
Over.
Yeah, be skinny and don't be fat. You get those two locked in, and you're top 10%.
Yes. I mean, I think that's a good point with D and with Mac, but I feel like, Kyle, you're underestimating how contentious Mac would be. Like, he'd just start stupid fights over nonsense and not let it go and annoy the shit out of you. That's why I think Charlie's the best pick, because he's very manipulative. You can manipulate him very easily. And so you can manipulate him into being clean. He was tricked in that episode that he became a genius when he took that pill, a very recent episode, but he believed himself then. Like, if you just played into his own willingness to believe that he's not a nasty rat killer, then he'll comply, I think. I think he's the best option.
Wow, Mirka, I really like the way you approach this. Yeah, Charlie is not a disgusting, nasty idiot. Charlie is a piece of clay that you can mold into anything.
He's retarded, and you can work that to your advantage.
He's not going to stop huffing paint, though. That's what he does. He huffs his paint.
Well,
Let him huff his paint. Just keep him clean while he does it. Reward him with little things. He lives in a shit shack with a hot plate as his primary method of food delivery. He's going to be ecstatic when I get him a fucking medium pizza from Little Caesars.
He doesn't use his bathroom is non-functioning, right? Like the bathroom in his apartment.
They shit in buckets and whatnot.
They use buckets like chamber pots, and they're not chamber pots. There was an episode where Frank thought that Charlie was dead because Charlie faked his own death, and Frank has a mannequin dressed up like him, and he's arguing with the mannequin about who's going to empty the bedpan,
poop bucket?
and then he bursts into tears and hugs the mannequin and cries.
I liked it. Why were they looking for a cat in the wall?
Oh,
because Dee lost the cat in the wall after she bought it. So, what's his name? Yeah, Charlie had to release a second cat to lure the initial cat out, and it didn't work out as planned.
He tied a rope to the cat and sent it in, like on the rope. And the idea was it would latch on to the other, and he could draw them both out. But by the end, he's like, "Yeah, need a bunch more cats and some birds," and like he's putting cats and birds and shit. And then Dee gets stuck in the wall with the cats. Great. Very well written show. They're completely.
Yes.
They're all horrible human beings. The world would be better off without all of them in it.
Yeah, if they all died, Philadelphia would get slightly better.
Yeah. But I really enjoy the show. I've watched it. I thought I had watched every episode a couple times, but I found out yesterday that I had accidentally skipped season 4 somehow. So I'm watching season 4 right now.
Isn't that cool?
What a major oversight! Because season 4 came out like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I can only imagine that in watching it on Netflix or however I was watching it, somehow season 4 just got skipped over. Maybe I just clicked,
That's like
from
a
5
gift,
to 7.
man. Every so often I'll meet someone who's never seen Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or something like that, and I envy them. Because they have you don't understand the golden treasure chest of entertainment that lies in front of you. Like, if you told me, "Hey, Woody, there's a whole season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia that you haven't seen yet," I'd be like, "Wait, what? Really? This is awesome! Like 8 incredible hours of fun on my way."
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoy that show. I've been watching a lot. What have you guys been watching?
Doctor Who. I've just been like overwhelmed with the house stuff, which like it dominating my life, but I feel like it shouldn't dominate my YouTube channel. But yeah, I like Doctor Who because I've seen it before and I can like barely pay attention to it while I do other stuff.
Fair enough. What about you?
Yeah. I've been watching the new South Parks. Really, the whole year is just waiting until the next season of Game of Thrones now. Just waiting and, just using other things to fill the void. It's like how people talk about religion. I'm trying to fill that hole, but I just can't. No matter how hard I try.
Two things, dude. One, I heard Walking Dead is good this year. Like it's been perhaps their best season, is what I keep hearing.
No, that show sucks. It is boring.
Did you see it this year?
It's meandering. There's no zombies.
Have you seen this year?
I have not.
Well,
but I won't let that ruin my generalization.
Then you are unqualified, because I'm told that look, especially last year, the season 2 and the last year's season, whatever that is, 4 maybe, were bad. Especially bad. That one blonde woman, I was so rooting for her to die, and she did.
Andrea.
Yeah.
We all were.
But I'm told that if I were to watch it this season, all my criticisms would be addressed. So that's the thing. And the other one is Californication, which I think it has violence and nudity and death. That's a good start. It's some of my favorite stuff.
That's a very solid start.
Mm-hmm. Sexual situations and such. So I don't know. Chiz says it's not Game of Thrones, but it's that step behind. What is the step behind? Like Walking Dead,
Boardwalk Empire,
Orange is the New Black.
Behind. Haven't watched that at all.
Oh, Orange is the New Black, I think, is actually really good. It's not Game of Thrones. It's the step behind. It's the thing that's better than a typical TV series. But
I like House of Cards a lot.
That to me is the top tier. House of Cards, Game of Thrones, and Breaking Bad when it was on were the top ones.
Is the new season of House of Cards out?
There's 2 seasons out. The new one's like a year old now.
Oh.
How are you liking the new season of South Park, Taylor?
It's good. I like it.
I don't. All right, so like most of the episodes I've hated, to be honest. Like I'll sit there through the whole episode and I'll realize I haven't even cracked a smile. Like just don't find them funny.
Is the one with
which
the
one
VR
are you referring
headset this season with the virtual reality goggles? Was that this year?
Yeah.
I didn't like it. That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, I didn't like the one with the Oculus Rift episode. I didn't care for that. I thought it was lame. I'm having a hard time thinking of the other episodes, but there's been 1 or 2 that I thought were good, but I think there's been a total of like 6 or 7, and I didn't like any of those.
Have you seen Cock Magic, the newest one?
No, I'm going to watch it as soon as we get done here.
I thought it was funny. Maybe that's because they like goof on Magic the Gathering, and I like Magic. I thought that was a lot of fun when I used to play it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's fun to be included in little things like that where most people aren't understanding little jokes they're throwing around. But at the same time, I can see what you mean. They are making it incrementally more goofy and like sillier and moving away from their solemn messages at the end of every episode, which I think is just a result of you doing 18 seasons, 19 seasons. That's so much fucking content. Like at a certain point, you gotta kind of tap out to an extent. Keep doing the show, but be like, we've hit everything we can hit. Now we just have to wait for pertinent, current events.
I feel like they should go. I feel like there are current events they could go after. I feel like I could write a better South Park episode than at least 2 of the episodes that have been this season. Not right, but I think I could come up with a better premise to base an episode off of. I really, really do.
Have they done one on Ferguson yet?
Not that I know of. They've done a couple of them that were just so lame, though. I wish. Let me look. I just haven't, and I'm a huge South Park fan. I love the show, but I haven't really enjoyed this season very much at all.
It probably won't go down as like a season that you reminisce over the episodes, like Scott Tenorman Must Die or stuff like that. But still, I think they're still putting out a good product, better than New Family Guy, New Simpsons, any of that.
So there's the one where Cartman goes transgender to get his own bathroom, and Randy turns out to be that pop singer Lord. I didn't like that very much. There's the Handy Car one where Timmy starts a new transportation service to raise money, and it's basically Uber. That really sucked. I hated
that one was really weak. I kind of forgot about that one, but it wasn't good.
There's the magic bush. That's the one where Cartman and Butters are flying the drones around, and that one woman has a huge bush, and they keep beating that joke into oblivion. And I didn't think it was funny the first time. I don't care if your cartoon character's got a big bush. Like I just don't. Unless you're gonna show it, and it's gonna be something hilarious. Like unless there's an animal. Like why couldn't there be an animal living in her bush? And why don't we go remember that episode with the lice? When they go and the lice have the whole community on Kenny's head, and there's a daddy lice and a mama lice and a baby lice.
I remember that.
Why couldn't they do that inside that woman's giant bush? Let's do some shit like that again. That's the kind of humor that I'll get off on. That's what I want.
They already kind of did that with Oprah's bush when Oprah's bush held a bunch of people hostage at gunpoint.
Yeah, her snooze,
well,
right?
That was her snatch, not just the bush.
The virtual reality one I really didn't like. The first episode was pretty good, but it reminded me so much of the Crackhead Basketball League episode. It was Go Fund Yourself. It's where the boys abandon school and start their own company called the Washington Redskins. Because the name was up for grabs because they took it away from them or whatever. Like the copyright was expired or wasn't renewed or whatever. So that I like that one a little bit, especially Cartman's talk with the owner of the Redskins. He's like, we find your use of the name Washington Redskins very offensive, and Cartman's like, oh really? Why? What's so offensive? And it's just really funny. I like that.
That's a really good Cartman.
I like them going back and forth. I thought that was really funny. Thank you. And then there's one more. I'm nonstop eating. Oh, the gluten one. Yeah, the gluten was absurd too. I don't know.
I heard a new theory on the gluten thing.
Let's hear it.
Oh.
I have no idea if it's true. I'm not a chemist or a biologist or dietitian or anything, but not even...
Perfect. Preach the truth.
Yeah, here you But I do have a strong opinion on the topic, in spite of my total lack of expertise. They're saying that people aren't gluten intolerant, that that's not the thing, that what they are is they're Roundup intolerant, and that with the GMOs and the gluten comes from wheat, maybe? I don't even know. But there's these modified seeds that allow them to be tolerant of Roundup, which is
herbicide.
It's a poison. That's what I'm looking for. Herbicide. In particular, it kills weeds. If people don't know what Roundup is, everything but this genetically modified wheat, corn, etc. So what they're saying is that it's not the gluten in the wheat that's causing this problem. People have been eating that for years and years and years and decades and millennia. The problem is that there's Roundup in it, and they can't eat that, and that's the sensitivity that some people have. I don't know. I'm a fool, but it's an interesting theory. I liked it. Shouldn't we just round up all those people who can't handle gluten and put them in a big big camp or something? You don't want it taking up a big area, so you really want to concentrate that group of people into one camp, if you will. A concentrated camp.
I agree. Put them in a big camp and feed them only loaves of bread until they admit that their little bullshit resistance to gluten is made up to be popular. Then they can rejoin the populace.
Kyle, would you put Kitty in such a camp?
No, she's fine with gluten.
But, I mean,
then
peanuts...
she doesn't need to join the camp.
I would say her peanut allergy, perhaps...
The peanut allergy is
different.
I've seen it take place. I've seen peanuts get on her and the skin burn off.
Kyle, the core of your argument is that people who say they're allergic to gluten are full of shit.
I've never seen someone go into anaphylactic shock over gluten. I've seen it happen from a lot of things. I don't know much about it. I'm uneducated, but it just feels to me like...
I thought you were just speeding up Darwin's work. That was, I thought, your initial thought process. We should take all the people who are gluten intolerant, get rid of them, and now gluten intolerant will be removed from society. I thought that's where you were headed.
Yeah, I won't stand for any kind of intolerancy in my new world, whether it's gluten or African Americans, anything like that.
Wouldn't you say that you're gluten intolerant?
I am intolerant of those who will not tolerate gluten. That's my solution.
Well, if you're against any intolerance, then you're in trouble as well.
Kyle, don't fall for his tricks. Stay the course.
Yeah. Stay on topic. I looked it up because I couldn't remember all of it, but the Dennis system is this. The Dennis system is an acronym for how Dennis's character goes after women. So the first D, demonstrate value. E, engage physically. N, nurture dependence. N, neglect emotionally. I, inspire hope. S, separate entirely. Basically, you go in there, have sex with her, make her feel bad about it, make her think that maybe we'll get back together, and then you just get the fuck up out of there. So then once he's out of the way, then Mac comes in with the Mac system. Move in after completion. He goes in and fucks all the women that Dennis has fucked after he's done with them. And then Frank moves in with his system, which is called Scraps. It's actually not an acronym. It's just him going after the scraps. And his system consists of flashing a wad of $100 bills and a Magnum condom to show that he both has a lot of money and a monster dong. So those three guys are like fucking the same women, like in order. It's really disgusting that anyone would have sex with Danny DeVito.
He's divorced now, right? He just got divorced?
Rhea Perlman, yeah. They've been married for a very, very long time.
Yeah, like 20 years or something. Like, quite some time.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah, he's like maybe more because he's like 70 now. He doesn't look it though. It's like he's so chubby that the wrinkles can't form. That he just keeps he gains 5 more pounds instead of getting Botox. He just gains 5 more pounds and just squeezes the wrinkles out.
That's true. The Will Shatner effect. You just gain like 2 pounds a year to negate those wrinkles, and you're fine.
Shatner's older than.
Oh wait. So he had been married 30 years. And he and Rhea Perlman have called off their divorce, and they're giving it another shot.
Great. That's great for them.
According to this thing. I don't know if I'm...
They're both absolutely hideous individuals who are both very talented. I'm sure they're both got plenty of money laying around. I doubt they're going to do better, though. Like, even if you got Danny DeVito money, can you really go get some pussy?
I just feel like
with that kind of money, I bet. But I
Danny
bet it was
DeVito
settled
on
by
a
just
scale of
one
1 to
divorce
10 is a
attorney
1, and Rhea Perlman is easily a 4.
They're both like 3 or 4s, something like that. But although, he's got to be a really fun guy to hang out with. I bet he's got so many stories. He was on Taxi with Andy Kaufman. Like, he goes back to all those old school comic legends. I bet he's got stories about Chevy Chase and Steve Martin and lots of great stories from the 70s and 80s. And he's done all those movies. I bet he's just got. You could sit with that guy for a year and he could just entertain you endlessly. So maybe it's worth that because he's just so great, on the inside. Or maybe he's a rotten motherfucker like in the show. Wouldn't that be great?
Here's their picture.
Just as shitty.
You don't think that she's better looking than him? By the way, keep in mind, she is leaning over quite a bit to be his size. She's a normal-sized woman who's pretty fit.
Wow, she looks better than I thought. This is a good picture of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd fuck them both. Why not?
Yeah, I'm down.
His body type is just so bizarre. 4'11" and just a big butterball. But,
just very unfortunate.
And she was always quite unattractive back when she was on. Was it Cheers? Was she on Cheers?
Yeah, Cheers. It was Cheers.
Yeah. I used to watch a lot of Cheers. But in any case, that's good they're not getting divorced. I wonder what was going on with that.
Here's another picture. And granted, I'm saying she's a 4. She might even be a 3. But maybe more than a 3 given her age. This is not a particularly good picture of her. But
I don't think it's that bad, man.
I feel like
she's an old lady now. She thinks she looks. I think she looks better than most 70+ women out there. For a 70+ woman, she's like a 6 or a 7, easy.
Maybe even more. The 70+ women can sometimes be fully old.
Or that's
true.
I saw when my grandmother was 70, she was all fucked up. She looked gross. Like this lady looks much better than my grandma looked at her.
And she's like regular person
she's
size.
She's certainly much more attractive than he is.
That's what I'm getting.
Like she's a base 3, he's a base 0, and he gets up to like maybe 4 1/3 on personality, and that's where they meet. And he's got money.
Money, yeah.
But she's certainly better looking than him. Like you'd expect her to be with a better looking guy, even if it was still an old Trumpy fuck. At least he'd be, adult male sized.
Yeah, that's a big deal. He's not adult male size. He's 4'11".
She must like him tiny.
Yeah, and I like Danny DeVito, and that sucks, but
just being honest, yeah, I like Danny DeVito a lot.
I like him too. Are you sure they're as old as you say they are?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I was just taking it. You guys said they're in their 70s, right?
I'm pretty sure.
He is 70, and Rhea Perlman is 66. So Kyle's about right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Robbing the cradle.
So let's. I had a couple of things.
Barack Obama? Immigrants?
Barack Obama. Yeah, so I guess Obama not through executive action, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, but through some executive memos or something like that. Basically, he's going to send word down the chain of command that what he wants done is to provide amnesty to about 5 million currently considered illegal immigrants, or perhaps not illegal, but just not U.S. citizens. He's gonna allow citizenship for about 5 million non-U.S. citizens. And from what the way I understood it, it didn't sound like something I was against, because the individuals who he's giving citizenship to are the ones that were mentioned. The scenarios that were mentioned were cases in which, say, the child was born in the U.S., but the parents are both from another country. They would give them citizenship. Situations where a person had had a green card and been in this country for 5 years, give that guy one. You know, the guys. It seemed like that he was going to give citizenship to the people who were actual citizens. And
let me give a specific.
Sure.
An undocumented parent. That's illegal alien, right? But whatever. Undocumented parents of children who are American citizens, so they had their kid in the U.S., they'll receive relief under the president's plan. But they must have spent 5 years in the U.S. as of January 1st, 2015, have no criminal convictions to be eligible for protection. So there's the part of it. The other was something about green cards, which I haven't seen anywhere, but this article doesn't mention anything about the green card clause, but it does cover the parents of kids. So if you have American children and you've been there for 5 years and you have no criminal convictions, then suddenly I guess you're going to be a citizen?
Yeah, I guess.
That's do I have that right? Are they literally citizens, or?
Yeah, I think it's
It
citizenship.
keeps saying they're going to receive relief. Like that's not specific enough for me. Like citizen's a very specific thing. They'll be a legal resident shielded from deportation. I think what they're getting is like a 3-year don't mess with clause.
Amnesty type thing.
Well, amnesty, I guess amnesty, but it's not citizenship. They're not getting what citizens are getting. They're not getting green cards, which is like a permanent, it's everything a citizen is except voting. They're just, if I read this correctly, a 3-year delay for deportation proceedings. It's, I don't know. I've always thought this was going to happen. Like, in my opinion, like, so the Democrats want the Hispanic population to become citizens because they tend to vote Democratic. And the Republicans want the Hispanic population to become citizens because they tend to be inexpensive labor for big business. And one's in favor of big business, the other wants the votes. I don't know what's been holding this back. It just seems like everyone's in favor of it, politically.
I don't think
none
as
of them
many-
for good reasons.
I don't think as many Republicans are in favor for that as you might think. It seems to me that the position that they often take is that the illegals are coming in and taking everyone else's jobs. They took our jobs.
I feel like that's the Republican voting base, but not the leadership base. I feel like, McCain, for example, tried to legalize it, if I remember right. Like, there have been immigration efforts led by Republicans several times, and I think it's because they're bought, by big business.
McCain's in Arizona, though. He's,
maybe I feel like I might have
constituency-
misstepped on the McCain thing, but there have been Republican efforts led towards making this happen, and in my opinion, it's because they're bought, and I think the Democrats are doing it not to say that they're never bought, but for a different reason, which is they tend to vote their way. So one's doing it for campaign donations and one's doing it for votes. None of them are doing it out of honorable intentions. That's been my take on this scenario for a while, but it's interesting. Obama did a 3-year delay on deportation charges.
It's weird that he does it now. I'm not sure what his motivation is or what he's hoping to gain from this.
I'm guessing that he wants to get it done while he still has the Senate. Not that he needs the Senate to do this, but perhaps the issue will have relaxed a little bit by next year.
No, that can't be it, because
Okay.
the way he's doing it kind of goes around the Senate. Because the thing is that I heard this today, something about how the money that's used for the immigration department, it comes from it's paid into by the people who are immigrants or something, and it's not funding that Congress has anything to do with. Like it's not they don't control the spending when it comes to this sort of thing. So he can totally go around Congress completely to get this done. He could have done it before now. He could do it next year. He's going to have the same amount of power.
See, I hear you, and I knew that, but I was saying that the backlash would be bigger if Republicans had both houses of the Senate and the Congress. Whereas now, since the Democrats have the Senate, he's less likely to get. Maybe he's trying to do it while there's still a home field somewhere. Just a thought. I could be off.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Although it's only like six people that they lost or something like that, right?
They lost the majority though, and then they lost their leadership, which is a big deal. Because why is it a big deal to lose the leadership in the Senate? I know in the House it is, because they determine which bills get voted on in the House. In the Senate, I forget what they do specifically that makes it a big deal, but maybe it's they get to determine all the department heads, but I think that's the House too. I don't know why. I suck.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Yeah,
I feel like we're stuck with this same group of assholes no matter what. Like I feel like it's not like your representative is in there now and mine's out, or vice versa. It's that, like, I don't know, GM's representative is out, and like I don't
Ford's
know,
is in.
and like Norfolk Grumman's representative is in. That's what just happened. Like we're gonna switch from bailing out automotive companies to to more defense spending because we need a bigger fighter jet or something. Like it's not like they're looking out for me now instead of you, or vice versa. It's not that. It's I really get jaded when it comes to our political system sometimes, and just watching the waste and the evil that makes it up.
Yeah, I can hardly, like, every so often a thing will happen that I take objection to, right? Like, corporations are people now, and the invasion of privacy, that the NSA will do, and I'll get fired up about an issue that I think is terrible, but none of them, with the exception of tax rates, have ever impacted me. Like, this very slight, like it. I guess for people that are into pot, that tends to, I mean, or gay marriage, like those things have actually changed. But for me, that just nothing ever seems to impact me that they do. Yeah, they're all doing something for other people. So, new topic?
Yeah, I'm looking. I've got a whole list of them here. I'm trying to pick one.
I bought a house.
Everybody loves hearing about that. I read the comments.
I've been reading lots of positive stuff actually about that.
Yeah.
I think the key is to keep it brief. When Jackie and I were debating which home to buy, it lasted way too long. If people just want a quick home update, I actually bought it. It happened. As we record this, it's Thursday, and I bought it yesterday. And it was really exciting for me. It seemed to drag on for a long time as we waited. I was worse than any kid, anxious about Christmas. And yesterday we signed the papers, and it was just like, I was never really sure this would actually happen. Like I didn't know it was going to come through. This is the second house we had under contract. The first one failed inspection so horribly that we just couldn't buy it. It would have been a wreck. And I even now I'm just like, I can't believe this is mine. And it's a nice home. That's not to say it needs no work or that it's an absolute palace. I feel like if I pimp up, set expectations so super high that when people do see it, I do a walking tour or something, they're going to be like, Woody, you made it seem like it was incredible. Okay, today I had the propane turned on, and the place has 3 furnaces, 4 fireplaces, and a hot water heater. We had to get them all working. It took hours. And it's just like 4 fireplaces. Like, it's almost embarrassing. Have you ever lived in a place with 4 fireplaces? Anyone here?
No.
Merca?
No. When I was younger, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably not 4 though.
I,
It's ludicrous.
is ludicrous. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4 fireplaces, and then there's another. It looks like there should have been a 5th fireplace next to the jacuzzi, and I'm just or a hot tub. I don't know the difference. I think it's a jacuzzi, right? They tend to be the indoor one, but it like makes all the bubbles and stuff. I don't know. The master bathroom is bigger than this room I'm in. There's a There's a master bedroom which is like 4 of these rooms, and then next to it is a changing room which is the size of this room, and then next to that is a master closet, which is bigger than this room again. And it has its own attic. There's a couple of attics at this house.
Wow.
And again, here I am like pimping up, like it's this amazing thing. It's a regular home. It's just it's big, and it's nice to me. And the yard is gigantic, and I like it. Things have been going real well for years and years now for me, but I never thought it would become this real. Like I would get something, like something would change. Prior to now, it'd just been like cash in the bank and investments and stuff. And part of me kind of wrestled with the fact that I spent money. I really haven't bought anything in a long time, ever. And last thing I bought that I think was significant was my truck in 2003. So, but I'm kind of okay with it. I don't feel like I just blew money like I bought a race car. It's an investment. I hope that I sell this thing for over $1 million. I can envision a scenario where like 10 years from now, Hope is off in college. Perhaps Colin's on his own. She's finished college. Hope is off and married with kids, and Colin is out on his own too. And we're empty nesters with a 6,000 plus square foot house, and we're like, you know what? Let's sell this. And it turned out to be a really good investment. It's in a populated area, and it's a lot of land. I imagine someone maybe either enjoys it like we do, or they tear it down and put up 15 houses on the property. I don't know, but yeah. So it's not just blowing money. I think it will be a good investment, and I can't believe it happened to me. That's the core of it, and we're just kind of planning everything out right now.
So when do you spend the first night there?
It's gonna be a little while. I mean, I could, in theory, do it now. The heat's on and everything. But as a place to live, it's not that useful for me until it has a good internet connection. Mm-hmm. And that process takes 30 to 90 days. And I'm not sure the timer's even started yet. So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm sort of leaning on Time Warner. I talk to them every single day. Like, hey, is today the day? Today the day? What has to happen is they're going to get me some paperwork that describes what they're going to do, and I have to have my neighbor sign off on it because he has, part of the line would run through his property, and I've already talked to him in advance, and he's good to go. It's upgrading his internet line. He actually owns 2 homes and land for 3, and as it sits today, only one of those homes can get an internet connection. So as I pay for all this construction, there'll be a repeater in his yard, and all 3 of his houses will be capable of getting a high-speed internet line. So he's all for it, and I'm all for it, and that's not going to be a problem. The problem is I don't have the paperwork to have him sign yet. And then once that happens, we turn it around. The city has to get permits. And to keep this flowing, to answer your question, I bet it's like 45 days away, something like that. I don't think it's going to be the full 90. They say that once the permits get approved and everything, that it takes them 1, maybe 2 days to do their job. It's just a matter of turning the wheels, and we're doing this during the holidays. So, but it's really going to happen.
I hate. Do you have your new studio room picked out yet? Like where you're going to do PKA and everything?
Yeah. One of the bedrooms has it's a good size. I like the lighting in there, and it has a ridiculous it has 2 closets, and one of the attics is attached to it, and it just makes it nice because this gig takes a lot of space. I've got a fair amount of camera equipment and tripods, and then of course just my lifestyle stuff like sporting gear, and so that I claim that room because of all the storage that it has, and I like the room itself, and yeah, it's just a bedroom that I'll make into an office. And it should be cool.
I hate when things take that long. I don't understand why things take that long. I applied for my to renew my my concealed carry permit
right.
yesterday, And it's like 4 to 8 weeks till it comes back. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. And they're like, well, we have to do a federal and a state background check. And I'm like, yeah, I do those all the fucking time. They take 5 minutes.
Probably 5 seconds, right? Like you're probably getting someone to run a query. And I hate that it takes a long time too. And he keeps telling me like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't do it today. I had an emergency. And that's happened a couple of times. And today I was like, hey, I think I'm your emergency now, right? Like, but I've been delayed for about a week now. I'm the emergency, right? I'm the guy. And he's like, yep. You know, he's like, it was like 11 a.m. He's like, 1 p.m. I've got you blocked off. We're going to work on you now. Well, I didn't get an email. So tomorrow I'll be calling him saying, hey, what happened? You know, where are we now? I know you had all afternoon and that I was your emergency. Why isn't this delivered on? And I need to keep a good relationship with him. I can't just beat him up and have him hate me. But I also am trying to push it, you know, to talk to him every day. Say, oh, dude, my dream house is not functional for me until you do your job.
Squeaky wheel.
Yeah, squeaky wheel. Exactly. So that's it. It really happened. I was, like, a Wednesday in particular, yesterday, I was just, like, in a fog. Like, I can't believe that something good happened. Something big and something good. Like that. It's not that, like, I'm not lucky or something. It's just, like, this is a really big deal for me. I'm, like, I'm out of words that this actually happened to me. And,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, what's up?
I was going to ask if you were ready for a new topic because I've got one.
Sure.
So we were gonna have Major Nelson from Xbox on tonight as our guest, but so, a little bit of backstory. Like, let's say about a year.
What did you do?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, I went to log into Xbox to play, and my gamertag was banned for like some ungodly amount of time. You know, it was like 1,000 years or so, and it said for some sort of like sexual misconduct or something. I'm like, I don't even talk on my microphone because people bother me when I'm in game and they recognize me. Like, when I play, it's usually single-player games or some COD 4 or something. Like, and what obviously happened was, like, someone had it out for me, and they called and talked to a person and scammed them into banning me forever. So we told our contact at Microsoft that after they sent us the Xboxes and stuff and arranged for Major Nelson to come on. And they were like, whoa. Well, we got to get that fixed because it's against our like policy or whatever to have him like come on and associate with anyone who's banned. So they have to get me unbanned before Major Nelson is actually allowed to come on the show. So we're waiting on that to happen. So I guess I'm getting my OFPS Kyle O gamer tag back, and then we'll get Major Nelson on. So hopefully next week. We've had a couple of scheduling issues with him, so hopefully it gets worked out soon. But did
you find out what was specifically said against you? Like what people said you were saying?
No, the only feedback that I had at all, I think I had to go to like the website, and it was just in print. It was like sexual misconduct. That's what it said. Like, I don't even know what that is. Like how you do that in COD. Like teabag somebody too hard? Like, I don't get it.
If I were to hypothetically make a case for why you're actually guilty, would that be a bad thing to do in public? I think it would be. I mean, this is a good opportunity for me to stay quiet.
Well, yeah, probably so. But I don't know what I could possibly have done. I really don't. Like I just.
You don't?
Do you need help with this?
What if Bill Cosby doesn't know what he did?
I know what I didn't do. What I didn't do was like any sexual misconduct on fucking Xbox.
I'll tell you what he didn't do. He didn't do anything that wasn't consenting, voluntary, between two happy people.
Sure. Totally that.
Totally that. That's there were no victims.
No.
Related to his gamer tag.
Of course not.
Or anything else. I didn't mean to narrow it down too much.
Except for the tens of thousands of like people that I've taken out in Call of Duty. Or hundreds of thousands perhaps by now, or whatever. But no, it irked me at the time because there's really no way for like a normal person to like get it fixed and have them believe you. So I just gave up on it. So like, hopefully this gets it fixed because it really pissed me off at the time. But it's one of those things where I'm just like, nothing I can do about it. I mean, there's no point in being angry about it. That's what they would want. So I just let it go and made a new gamer tag. But be nice to get my old gamer tag back. I got like 18,000 gamer scores, so far and beyond eclipsing Woody's gamer tag. So I'd like to get that back under the helm, start
I
adding some more
think
score
that's
to it.
true. I think I'm in the 15s or something.
Oh yeah, I get back on the Xbox One and start, climbing back up that ladder of gamer score. Keep myself far and beyond ahead of Woody, and even I don't know where Wings is, but for a long time I felt like I had him beat too.
He's up there. He's in the 30s. Are you sure you're actually higher than me?
It's like 17,000 and change. One second,
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's spaces in between all the words.
Ooh, checking gamer score. Someone's about to be mildly humiliated.
Oh, well.
I think I'm at like 1,700. I have all the Nazi zombie ones. And that's it.
1,700 is quite the gamer score. All right, I'm hoping...
Impressive.
I've got like... Yeah, this should come to me.
Whenever I was going to do the Call of Duty commercial, we'd already agreed on everything, and it was all set up. And then someone at Activision, or no, it wasn't. It was somewhere. One of the higher ups emailed us and were like, "Well, we don't think this is going to work out because we found that Kyle had made an Xbox hate video, or a Call of Duty hate video, or something." I was like, "What?" And it was this video I'd done forever ago called like Destroying Modern Warfare 2, where I like took a bunch of guns and shot it up and destroyed it. And they didn't want me in the commercial because I was some sort of Call of Duty hater. And it was only after I presented them with my time played and Call of Duty 4 that they were like, "Oh, all right, you're back on board." like when I showed them that I had 80 fucking days of playtime or something like that in that game, they were just like, "Oh, okay, he's a fan. Cool." So in that way, my silly hours and hours wasted on that game really paid off. Everybody always said I was wasting my time spending all those hours and hours poning noobs on shipment.
You showed them.
I did. But yeah, I'll be glad to get my gamer tag back, and be good to get Major Nelson on here next week, talk some Xbox. Speaking of that, I still got mine in the fucking... I got my Xbox still in its box. So I need to get it out, hook it up, and I want to play some Assassin's Creed Unity.
God damn it. All right. So the numbers are in. Kyle has 17,900 gamer score, and I have 15,700.
And what does Wings have? He said 30,000?
I will check.
Thing about him, though, is he's also got a bunch of PlayStation trophies. You can't even, like, quantify those in gamer. I guess you could. You could add it up, and I bet he's completed a bunch of PlayStation games. Wings really puts his fucking time and effort into those games, especially the ones that I've never heard of and don't enjoy watching. He kept making those videos forever that were just so god awful. It was
34,000 for Wings.
What was that game that he used to play all the time?
Dragon's Age.
Dragon It, yeah. Oh, so lame. And it was like, dude,
people love that game.
I didn't like the videos, I guess. I can understand like in the game, it was just like it didn't translate well to like YouTube videos.
I don't like where gaming has gone. Like I was thinking of making videos again. I was talking to Chiz about it. I've kind of not made videos in a while, and then some of the videos I have made have been PKA plays, which is somewhat in line with the kind of videos that people make lately. But Merca used the word vapid to describe something a couple weeks ago, and I kind of knew what it meant, like hollow and almost unimportant. But I looked it up, so I know exactly what it means. And it's like intellectually unstimulating and unchallenging. And that's how I feel about what's popular in the YouTube gaming scene now, right? Oftentimes it's just people playing together laughing a lot. People fake reacting to like dumb things in game. Like I picture a Gary's Mod person where there's a visual glitch and people just like hysterically belly laughing for 3.5 minutes at it. It's vapid, right? Like it somewhere way on the right, you have like a TED Talk that opens your mind. And then somewhere way on the left, you have the average YouTube gaming video where
PewDiePie.
I didn't want to call out his name because I feel like to call out a name makes that person bad. He's not bad. He's just, that's his style of video, and it's not my cup of tea. Like he's not a bad man, but like I've never been stimulated by what I find to be the common gaming video now. And mine, well, let's not pretend I put out 2,000 TED Talks, right? I'm not capable of it. But I would sometimes do researched topics, whether it was Tech Tuesday or even like I just talk about, maybe the motive behind Google getting into the ISP business or whatever, just things that were a little bit deeper and more sincere and researched. I talk about Obama's healthcare policy, politics, love, life, depression, happiness, sadness, success, finance. Like those are the topics I would talk about a lot on my channel. And again, I don't pretend to have put out 2,000 TED Talks, but I also didn't put out 2,000 just like giggle fests of bullshit. And
that really is a good way to describe a lot of these videos. And I don't watch many, but they're just giggle fests where someone does something mildly entertaining and everybody hoots and hollers and drums it up to be something more exciting because they just want to get a video out there that someone's going to be tricked into laughing at and up clicking or liking. You know?
Yeah. Some guy in DayZ didn't have great aim. Ha ha ha, laugha, laugha, laugha. Watch me zigzag while you can't hit me. And the poor guy's only got 6 bullets and he didn't finish you in that. And now we're all laughing. And it's not that fun. It's like an everyday gaming event. It's like...
it's just not special. And to be fair, I've put up a lot of garbage over the years, so I'm not one that's stoned.
Actually, I think you're wrong. I think actually you put up the kind of videos I'd like to make. Now, I'm probably not every one of them, just like not every one of mine. But you would have thoughtful opinions on a topic that you'd cover. I remember we talked about one where we disagreed. I think it had to do with parents praising children too much. It creates children that are, that have a too high a sense of self. And I was like, I don't know. It seems like the whole world is tearing your children down. It's not so bad to have one safe place, one, supporting home structure, and let the rest of the world do the beating down for you. You don't have to do that when you're the parent. We had different opinions on that. And but it was thoughtful and it was mind-opening to some extent. And I'm like, man, I'd like to do videos. Even if they weren't gaming, maybe they could just be vlogs. Fuck, I'll just tractor talk, right? Me on a tractor buzzing around talking about raising kids or whatever, the thing, love, life, success, finance, death, happiness, depression, whatever. I was going to say disgusted. That makes me sound more passionate than I really am. I'm a little bit frustrated and disappointed with what I mostly see in YouTube videos now, which is senseless giggle fests and skin deep thought processes. So maybe I'll make some videos and try and do better.
What entertains me now is different than it was even 6 months, a year ago. It's always changing. I guess I'm evolving as a person, becoming better and faster and stronger, more intelligent. Or maybe I'm just becoming more like jaded and a bigger asshole over time. But
your hair's gotten better.
All right. Damn. Oh yeah, it's doing this blonde thing right now. I like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you rewind 5 years, you're not on this level.
I have talked about that with you guys before, and it really was. That was my thing that I wish I could go back and like tell the old me, like, all right, man. So here's what you do: get some of that putty, get your hair wet, get it in there, part that shit, then kind of mess it up a little, put it how you want
exactly.
Out of your eyes.
One thing I've taken to lately that I think is a little more stylish and current, we get back to the YouTube video thing, I part it, and then I've got, like, you can see my scalp on the part. I don't think it's the right look. And now I take that and I bring it straight forward, because a hairstylist recommended it to me a couple times, haircuts ago. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that. And the front, instead of going straight to the side, kind of goes up now. Now, I don't know what I've got going on today. I worked all day and went straight to the show. But... I think the straight up thing, like, I like that. It's a little twist on the straight to the side thing I had before. But
yeah, so what I do is like, it goes back, and this all goes back, and then it's sort of parted like super neat, where there's a part right here that's visible, and then I just kind of mess it up a little, and then I put it back the way it was, and it looks better. I got a shitty haircut this week, and I called and complained, and I think they're gonna fire the girl. I hope so.
Wow.
But she was beyond like being bad.
Heartless.
She was literally unstable. Like she was twitchy and like talking to herself and like telling like 1/8 of a story to me, and then just literally trailing off into like below like hearing level. It was bizarre. And
I like it when people around me responsible for, wielding sharp objects take tangential routes to explain things that have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, she cut me. You know that thing where they go in the back with the clippers and they like trim up your neck? She went to fucking town.
She cut you?
I want to hear what you had to say about YouTube videos.
She went to town. She raised the back up higher than it's supposed to be, and like when she was doing that thing where she's like, like shaving my neck, when she would touch it to me, she'd cut me. She cut me twice and didn't even apologize. And I felt it, and I saw it when I got home with a mirror. I was like, oh, you bitch. So I called, and I was like, hey, this is Kyle. And she was like, hey, Kyle, like the lady who owns the place knows me. And I was like, I went in there for a haircut a couple days ago, and you weren't there. She's like, oh, who cut it? And I was like, I don't know who she was, but she's like 50, and she had on these yoga pants, and I think she was unstable, and she really jacked my hair up. And so I'm going back in there tomorrow, so hopefully they'll fix it. But yeah, my hair has gotten better over the years.
YouTube videos, you've changed your tastes. You were talking about that before we changed to hair talk.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Freddie W. and I'm trying to think what else. I liked Ray William Johnson, and I don't know. There's 3 or 4 like Call of Duty guys that I would watch just for the gameplay, and I've really lost interest in that. I really couldn't care less. Like if you go 50-0 or 100-0, you're not going to get my click anymore. I just don't care. Now the stuff I like to watch is usually the semi-viral stuff. I really like the viral ads that a lot of big companies are making. Remember when Volvo did that thing with Chuck Norris? Or excuse me,
Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that I really enjoy. I like this video that I saw recently of the 3 grannies getting stoned for the first time. That was hilarious.
I saw that.
I really
I have
enjoyed
not seen that.
It's
I need
great.
to find out.
Yeah, it's 3 grandmas smoking pot for the first time. I thought it was really funny. The one grandma's like, I don't feel as high as you look to me. Like they're all and they're all baked. Like they all took a couple hits off of a bong, and they all took a couple hits off of a vaporizer, and they're playing like Cards Against Humanity, and they're talking about queefing, and none of them know what a queef is, and it's really funny to like see these 3 grandmas getting stoned, and like they're eating Doritos and drinking tea, and they're stoned grannies. It's funny. I like that a lot.
That's great, because it's like an acceptable way to take advantage of old people not understanding things. And so you can still get a laugh, and they
enjoyed
paid,
it.
So they
seemed really consenting. It had just become legal in Washington, and they were like, all right, let's see what this is all about. And first they did a bong hit, which I've never done a bong hit, and I think they did it wrong at first. I would fuck it up too. Like there's like a carburetor on this thing. I don't know where I was when they passed out the bong lessons, but there's some sort of knowledge and skill to it. And then they took a vape hit, which looked like a dildo with the rubber hose out the front. It was like this big. And
I have never seen that particular model of vaporizer. I thought like the grandma was like, I was gonna say it looked like something else. And they're like, what do you think it looks like? She's like, a dildo. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, it looks like a big old butt plug with like those sports straws that come out of like the big like a big gulp. They're not straw material, like they're plastic and bendy, and they'll stay the way you bend them. It had one of those coming out of it.
Not a butt plug though. It looked like a dildo. Butt plugs are different. They're specific shape.
Like a dildo to me in the way that it's in its shape, because it was small in the middle, so that it go in, and your butthole would go around it.
Yeah, those are bigger, more diamond triangular on the end. Anyway,
we can argue all day about butt plugs versus dildos.
I don't know about your butt plug collection, but mine looks kind of like hers.
How many do you have?
3 or 4. It depends on the girl. You got to have a couple different sizes.
Just
some girls
looking to make sure. Oh wow, I'm glad I didn't. I googled butt plug to see like what they look like, and I'm like, can I show this array of butt plugs? And then it's like safe for work, safe for work, safe for. Oh, would have got me flagged right there.
It wasn't a butt plug in use.
Yeah, it was a butt plug in use.
Awesome.
This is to me is the shape of a butt plug, and a dildo looks much different. But Kyle disagrees, so that's fine. Maybe he has more butt plug exposure.
I guarantee it. So like,
Regardless, they were smoking out of something phallic, and they found it kind of funny.
And the vape thing took no talent or skill. You basically sucked on it. It didn't look any tougher than inhaling air through a straw. You know, like if you gave me an empty soft drink with a straw in the little childproof lid, and I sucked through it, that was all it took. And they were like, that was easy. It was nothing. And one of them was blowing out like all this vapor, like, and you're like, wow, she took a hell of a hit right there, I guess, because she exhaled all that and she didn't seem to struggle at all. Whereas previously they're all like, I got like a thing here, like the bong wasn't smooth, I guess.
Mm. And plus they were like 65-year-old women, so their lungs probably weren't all that tough. Mm. In any case, I really enjoyed
their frail old woman lungs.
Frail old women lungs. But that shows you again, like you know, there are some people out there who will say that like marijuana is like a deadly drug. You know, it's like they support its classification right there next to heroin, and like, you know, you see 65-year-old women smoke, and you're just like, that has to clear that up for a lot of people. They'd be like, oh, so it's not deadly. I'm not going to die. Good. Okay. You know, some people still believe in reefer madness, I'd say, and as much as like Woody likes to point out that all the health benefits that are touted aren't necessarily true, I think it's also important to point out that it's probably not going to kill you either, because it's never killed anybody before.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I'm glad I like the way you characterized my opinion. Like, you know, I was afraid you were going to be like, Woody likes to point out that it's all bullshit. No, that's not what I said.
You don't?
Yeah,
that's what a fan would say. A fan would be like, Woody says it's all bullshit. Like, that's not what he says. He just says some of it's bullshit.
Right, and that it's not like taking your vitamins. You know, I think sometimes when people promote marijuana, they should be like, look, here's the deal. It's a good time. It kind of makes you okay with being lazy, and sometimes there's memory loss. But in the realm of vices, it's probably there with alcohol and cookies and too much video games.
I think alcohol is much worse than a lot of us think.
It might be. I was even second guessing it as I said
absolutely.
that.
I agree. I would put it right there next to cookies, though. I bet cookies have killed a lot more people than marijuana. They really have. Choking alone, I bet more people have.
Oh, definitely in this country. Yeah,
right?
Coca-Cola has killed more people.
Video games, cookies, marijuana, and I'm looking for something a little more physically bad for you.
I don't think marijuana is as bad as cigarettes.
Yeah,
I don't think
no, probably not.
With all the lung cancer.
It's just the like.
The thing about
it's
marijuana
like the
is
1
also
in
the way
10
you smoke
pothead
it.
that ruins it for everyone.
I was reading somewhere that like the tar content or something that you get from marijuana is actually much worse than a cigarette, but people don't tend to smoke 22 joints a day.
Yeah.
Right. So like while that joint may have been worse for you than a cigarette, you know, if you get one a week or something, you know.
Yeah. If you would smoke your cigarettes like you smoke your joints, maybe you wouldn't be dying of lung cancer. Like you ever, if you smoked one cigarette a day, it's probably good for you to smoke one cigarette a day. I wouldn't be surprised.
PKA stats.
How do you reason that?
All right, here's how I reason that. Okay, so you know, there's all those studies about wine forever that wine helps with blood pressure, heart disease, a number of other things. I think a lot of that's been debunked lately, by the way. I think that was some vineyards fucking around paying somebody off. But in any case, for real.
Goddamn shady vineyards.
Milk too. I saw a study about milk being bad for you. Milk is not good for you. Stop drinking that fucking milk. It's not good for you. It's got tons of sugar in it, and the study showed something like that people who had three glasses of milk a day had like a higher mortality rate or something like that. It was just milk's not good for you. That's the dairy farmers paying somebody off next to the
very good with pumpkin bread.
I'll bet the pumpkin bread is just as bad for you too.
It's like pot.
You could put pot in the pumpkin bread. Then you're really talking. But in any case, like
I've been waiting to get in this conversation I had with Jackie. I want to talk about it.
It's everything in moderation. I think is the first key to like living your life. If you ask me, if you smoke 22 joints a day, there's something fucking wrong with you. If you eat 22 scoops of ice cream a day, there's something fucking wrong with you. It's just easier to see the ice cream on you maybe than the 22 joints. Same is true for a lot of things. You know, 20. You take 10. How many drinks a day is an okay amount? I don't think any drinks a day is. Personally, I don't fucking drink. I don't like alcohol. I don't like people who get drunk. I don't like dealing with drunks. I'd much rather deal with a stoner than a drunk. Like I've been around people who are stoned, and they're certainly not gonna get talky and go off the handle and like talk your ear off with a bunch of annoying shit and then repeat themselves over and over, or get angry and combative at some like minor social faux pas on your part. Like you're not gonna put your arm around a stoner and be like, "Whoa, man, I don't play that shit. What's up, bro?" Like that'll happen with a drunk. I watched some justice porn last night. That literally is exactly what happened. This guy was drunk. He went around, put his arm around this really big, scary guy's neck, and was like, "Hey, brother, what's going on?" And the guy literally got offended. He's like, "I don't play that shit." And he's like talking to the guy, and he's like, "You for real, man? Are you for real?" And then the guy just hauls off and sucker punches the guy who had put his arm around him in a friendly way. Guy goes down, pops back up, throws this big dude on the ground, and starts throwing these haymakers with both hands until the guy's laying on the ground, and he's just going, and there's blood coming out of his chin, out of his eye. Like there's a crowd gathered around to look at the beating this man took. The video's literally titled like, you know, the guy's a drunk douchebag gets the beating of his life.
So I was talking to Jackie, and we were driving home from somewhere. And I was talking about pot, and I guess it started as alcohol. And I was like, make no mistake. Like, if you're drinking alcohol, you're doing a drug, too. That might be the acceptable one, but that's what it is. And I asked her, like, you know, how many times do you drink a year? Like, how many drinks a year do you think you have? And she's like, I don't know, a year? Like 6 to 10, something like that. And then I said, why? And she's like, yeah, sometimes I'm in a social situation, and she feels like it's that social lubricant. Like it helps her get a little bit out of her inhibition lightener type thing. Makes her a little more apt to talk with other people. And I'm like, that's a drug effect, right? That's a thing. And I started drawing the parallels between marijuana and alcohol, and how like, you know, like this is the same sort of thing. Some people smoke marijuana just to feel a little better at the moment, and then you know, if you do that casually and you're not warping your whole sense of like what a daily experience should be like, whether it be alcohol or pot, that you know, there's not really all these tons of downsides to it. Because I was telling her that the moment that pot became legal is the moment that I become a farmer. Yeah. and it was funny because at the end of the conversation, she was totally lined up that marijuana wasn't this. Is it Class A? Is that what the government? I forget if it's Tier 1 or Class A or
something like that.
Whatever. They're like, yeah, you know, marijuana, meth, and cyanide. They're all roughly the same. And it's like, well, it's craziness. And she sort of like, I feel like we ended up on the same page, which is, you know, don't abuse this stuff, but. And that's for real, right? I like the way we've been almost pro pot in this conversation makes me feel like we're going to guide someone out there to go do it, and perhaps they'll take our like permission too far, and suddenly
well, it's expensive to take our permission very, very far, as you know. I mean, you know, you could get enough. Alcohol's cheap, marijuana's expensive. You know,
is it like how much would it cost to smoke daily? Is that even a good question? And you could say how much. The
question would be, how much does it cost to drink daily? Well, do you want to be drunk all day? Do you want to be drunk for an hour today? Like, you know, 3 shots of whiskey will get you drunk for an hour or two. Pretty fucking drunk for if you're a lightweight. But like, you know, by this afternoon you're gonna be okay.
Oh, but you've got me drinking in the morning, all right?
Well, I mean, you know, if you're gonna, you know, if you do it all day, every day, or something like that, yeah, it could get really expensive. I don't know. I guess you.
Let me throw this out there. Let's say your gig is to finish work, smoke pot, and play video games, right? Like at the end of your work day, your school day, pot and video games are your combo. That's what you do instead of TV or whatever it is people do after their chores are finished. So you're gonna smoke pot and play video games for a session daily. What are you spending on pot?
Probably like if you bought a half an ounce. If you're not in a state like Colorado, if you're somewhere buying it off the black market illegally, as it were, it's gonna be a couple $100 for like half an ounce, and that would get most people through like a month, I would think.
Did you say 100? Like, did you say a couple hundred? I forgot what you just said. Around
like
$200.
$200 a month, I guess.
$6 a day. Did I do the math right?
Pardon me?
I said $6 a day. Did I do the math right?
You did. That'd be $180. So seven would come out cleaner. That'd be $210. In a 30-day month.
Okay, so about $7 to smoke pot, which I would argue is pretty close to
6-pack of beer every night.
Yeah, maybe it's a little more expensive than drinking. Drinking's maybe half that.
Yeah, drinking, and especially if you don't mind what you drink, you can get really cheap, shitty booze for nothing. It all depends. If you're a connoisseur of marijuana, then you're going to be spending maybe $500 or $600 a month. Well, maybe you've got a $500.
I know you're not a drinker any more than I am. What's a mid-level beer? Like a Rolling Rock? I don't even know what
mid-level beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a Rolling Rock, Budweiser.
Okay. What's a 6-pack?
Regular beer. Like a cheap ass 6-pack. Like if you're buying a 6.
No, I went mid-level on purpose. Oh, did we just lose him and he's coming back?
Yeah, I'd say something like. I think a mid-level beer is like $8 a 6-pack or something.
Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be $7-8 a 6-pack for that. Or if you're like a true blue alcoholic, you can get like a $4.99 6-pack of Natty Ice.
Red Dog.
And that's like when you see people.
All right, so
I think anything with ice in it.
If our math is right, getting drunk, which I'm calling 3 beers, a buzz, is about half the price of smoking pot.
But if you're in a state like Colorado, I think it's like $100. I think the price is like almost half. It's like $120 for half an ounce, or maybe even better. And like some people have different. It depends how much that you want to smoke. If someone, they always have that picture on Reddit of the guy who's a 10 or whatever. He's that incredibly stoned guy who's always saying ridiculous things. If you wanted to be that guy, I guess it could get expensive. But if you just wanted to get a slight buzz, just like the equivalent of a couple glasses of wine, then that might only cost a few dollars a night. I don't know.
You don't have to be like Snoop Dogg rolling up, $500 of weed a day or something ridiculous like that. You can just be a regular dude. And also like a big benefit over alcohol is like just think of the calories. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. Like people getting fat for no reason, and they could just be having some 0-calorie smoke. That's not the best for your lungs, but there are payoffs.
I was looking at I saw someone the other day. They had a vaporizer thing, and the bottom part of it was like a rectangle. I guess it was the battery pack and all the components, and then it had like the like part you sucked on. And they were just, I guess you put like ground marijuana in it and you press a button and it's just vapor and it doesn't smell like anything. They take them to like movie theaters and stuff and like smoke them in public because you can't smell it and they look like nicotine vaporizers. So they'll go to the movies and be puffing on the thing, or they'll go to like a restaurant or something.
Yeah, a friend of our family's kid was doing something like that. He had to like homemade it. I think he took I'm going to screw this up, but he took the marijuana somehow and like got the oil out of it, and then he could vape it from there. Does anyone have any expertise?
So he
this?
Probably made dabs or wax. You can. I don't think it would be legal for me to tell how to build it. You can buy a thing on the internet, from what I understand. Basically, they force butane through the ground marijuana, and it separates the good part from the roughage, the leaves and stuff, the plant matter, and they force it onto like a piece of glass or something. They scrape it all up, and it's like a waxy consistency, like super thick earwax or something. And they smoke that. It's like a concentrate.
Yeah, back in my day, you could never smoke pot in the house because it has a mega distinctive smell. Like your parents would, if you smoke pot in your house, your parents tacitly allow it. Right, you didn't fool them because you smoked it with the window open. Like to a non-pot, maybe you're not a cigarette smoker, and it's on somebody's clothes or in their room or in their on their comforter in their bed or something. You're fully aware that this is a cigarette smoker's home base. It's obvious and clear to you. The same is true if you're a non-pot smoker. You're like, yeah, that guy's a pot smoker. I can smell it on his clothes and his hair, on his bed, if he's smoking there. And back in my day...
I don't think that's as true with weed.
No, it's not. The smell goes
like,
away.
I have friends in college, at least. Like, I'd go over to their apartment or whatever, and I'd walk around, and it wouldn't be till later, sometimes months later, that I found out that they smoked all the time in their place. Like, unless it's sitting out and smelly right then, like they just smoked, it's not going to smell. Not like a cigarette, at least. Cigarettes, like, you can smoke a cigarette once a week, and it'll get to everything. It'll stick to your comforter somehow.
Pot houses I've been in made less attempt to cover it up.
The pot houses.
The pot houses.
You're such an old man.
Those
kids and their pot houses and their drug lairs.
It was
now, these pot houses you went to, was there active marijuana smoking going on in them?
No, but thanks for the chance to talk. It was lifeguards. They would all rent a house together, and there'd be like 6 or 8 guys crammed into a beach house, and they're not actively smoking, but the whole thing was just like so obviously a pot house, you might say.
Interesting. With I know that I've seen on the internet they'll take like a toilet paper roll and then put like a fabric softener thing, like a dryer fabric softener.
Oh, a doob tube.
And then put a rubber band around that to hold it in place, and they'll exhale through that to eliminate the smell.
Does that work?
Someone on my floor in my dorm, my freshman year of college, got kicked out for that very reason. Because they do not work. Oh no, man, it's cool if I smoke all day. I just blow it through this thin dryer sheet. One dryer sheet only works on like half a load of laundry, but it'll work on 6 weeks of this fiendish habit. Not at all, you dumb fuck. At least switch out the sheet on your doob.
Could you just slide the sheet around?
Yeah, he just slid it around, and he would he taped the sheets like to the grates, like for the between different rooms cooling and heating system. That doesn't fool anyone. No one's like, man, that guy does his laundry fucking constantly. They're like, man, that sounds really sketchy.
Now, I would imagine, if you put me behind the engineering project of like hiding your marijuana smoke smell, I would imagine some sort of like really good air filter, like one of those things that sucks your home's air in one side and like purifies it or whatever in the other, an air purifier. I would think if you just like exhaled into one of those, like it would just wrap it all up.
I'd go differently. This comes from my woodworking experience. I have a really good air filter that just like sucks basic room air and pulls the dust out of it, and it doesn't do shit. And then I have another air filter. It's a Cyclone, and it sucks from directly at the back of the machine and pushes that through a filter. And it helps. It helps a lot. Of course, it makes less mess because it collects all the sawdust. But in terms of like the really small fine dust in the room, it's an improvement because it gets it near the source. But the cleanest air I've ever had while woodworking, and this, I can't do it all the time because of the weather, but if I open the garage door and the back door at the same time and you get a cross breeze, you can't beat it. So if I'm on the project of eliminating like pot smell from the thing, I am evacuating it outside the room. That's my plan. It wouldn't even have to be more complicated than a fan and a hose. And you blow in that hose, it'll go outdoors, and I think you'd have a hard time beating that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're almost getting to the day and age where like even hiding it that much makes you look kind of ridiculous. Like that's like a That 70s Show style maneuver to hide smoking the reefer. Like now it's almost so accepted. It's like, why are you going out of your way to hide it that much? Unless you like live in, I guess, one of the Southern Carolinas or something like that.
Well, it depends where you are. It depends where you are and who you are, and a lot of sometimes you're in a dorm or something like that. You get caught, it could kick you the fuck out, like that guy you were talking about.
It's true. That's true. You should just avoid it altogether there. But if you are going to do it seems like Woody's approach is pretty good. There's also a product that we used to use for spraying around our hockey shit, because hockey stuff smells right.
It wasn't just Febreze?
Just fucking terrible. And it's called Ozium, and it just destroys any like BO smell, smoke smell, anything at all.
Yeah, it'll get rid of cigarettes.
Yeah, Ozium gets rid of everything. And so,
I don't like the smell
look
of
that
Ozium,
up.
though.
No, it doesn't smell good, but it's better than like stinky feet, something like that.
I bought it at a truck stop. one time, and it was like maximum odor elimination. It was a small can, and you spray it, and it really does kill everything. Like, it's better than Febreze or anything, but it has a chemical smell.
What smell were you removing?
Cigarette smell.
Okay. It worked, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, hockey's the stinkiest stuff that I've run across. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gi is pretty much, kissing cousins of hockey gear right there. The worst. in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I cleaned my shit. Every time I rolled in between, my shit was washed and bleached because I just liked it like that. And I would use triple fabric softener because it was a little nicer for me and a little nicer for you. You roll with me, it's a slightly cuddly experience. Bam.
I wear cologne.
I'd be with other people that didn't clean their stuff, and some people would argue in favor of it. Like, you don't have to clean your gi. Gi is those karate pajamas you wear. You don't have to clean your gi. I just air it out. It's like, what? How are you advocating this as one of the possibilities? You should be embarrassed of this behavior, and you're trying to recruit people to your dirty Charlie from Sunny in Philadelphia cult. This crap. Don't do that. And some people, they smelled like ammonia, like their stink would convert.
It's real bad. And it's not all them. It's off the mat. Like the mats get really gross after a day. If they. I know exactly what you're talking. One of the instructors at the place I was going to had BO all the time, and I remember I would get up close with this guy, and I'd just be like, "Fuck, you stink, man! Like, what are you doing? Like, you smell." Yeah. I wanted to be like, "You smell terrible."
Not my instructor.
Some deodorant.
My instructor always smelled really good, and typically, he was just wired to keep I can't remember exactly the bubble gum, but let's call it Dentine, right? He always smelled minty fresh breath, and he was clean. It's just how he rolled, and but he was brutal. He's mean.
After I smelled that guy with the BO, it made me think well, I don't want to smell. I would literally wear cologne. I might as well. Let's put some cologne on. I'll smell good. People will want to roll with me, and people would say it. They're like, "You smell good." I was like, "Yeah." And then that guy, better than Stinky Joe over there, teaching him how to do that fucking judo throw. Just get a load of him. Like what I want to do is put him in an arm bar and then spray him down with fucking deodorant. It's awful. He needs some forcible deodorant. I hate people who don't wear deodorant. That's disgusting. And dude, I smell myself. The instant I smell, I know it. And the only reason I've ever smelled is because I didn't wear deodorant. It's because I forgot. And the only way I forget is if my morning routine is altered for some reason. Like, my morning routine is I do the same thing every morning. I get up, I make my coffee, I go into the bathroom, I take a shit, I drink my coffee while I'm taking the shit. My shower is heating up because the shower's on the opposite end of the house as the water heater, and it's a long house. I brush my teeth, then I get in the shower, and there's a routine there. The deodorant goes on.
I feel like I should have taken notes. I'm really curious about this routine. Okay, so shit and coffee happen at the same time. He's multitasking here, and then is the coffee finished at the same time as the poop too, or does it extend earlier? Or
the coffee gets finished no matter what. Like maybe I'm done pooping before I'm done with the coffee. I just keep drinking it, keep looking at my Reddit, get done with the coffee, put my phone down, I brush my teeth, then I get in the shower, I spit the whatever toothpaste into the shower, rinse my mouth out in the shower because I've got this super toothpaste. It tastes horrible. It's not that bubblegum shit you had as a kid at all. Actually, I skipped a step. I rinse my mouth before I brush because I figure I'm loosening the plaque up and killing the bacteria off. Brush my teeth, spit in the shower, and then the shower has its own routine with my back scrubber and my soaps and cleansers and my conditioners and stuff. I take long showers. I'm in there for about an hour every morning. So I get out of there, I towel off, towel goes on the rack, I go over here, and then there's a very specific process that has to happen over here so that I'm not washing things off my hands multiple times because I got the hair gel, I got the stuff I put on my skin, I've got maybe I want to trim my beard a little bit. All those things always happen in the same order, and deodorant happens first. As soon as I'm out of the shower, deodorant because I just have dried off. Now I'm dry. Then the underwear and the shirt come on. The hair. Then I do the hair because you pull the shirt over the hair, it fucks it up. There's a whole process. What I'm getting at is I'm always deodorized, and when I smell someone who's not deodorized, I'm shocked. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't comprehend it. it would be like you going out into public with like, oh, I forgot to wipe my ass again. Look at that, it's shit. A whole bunch of it. That really covers up the stench of the BO, though, right? Is that corn? Like, you gross motherfucker, you smell.
Yeah, I can't recall ever. I can't think of a time I have ever forgot my deodorant unless it's that rare situation where I've traveled and forgot it. Like I won't just forget to put it on one morning. The routine is too repetitive. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But
have you ever done that where you like you're sitting on a plane or on a bus or something and you start to smell like it smells fucking terrible. Who is that? And then like you kind of sneak an index finger under your underarm and then kind of slyly like
I do this.
You're like, oh no, it's me. I'm awful. Like I'm ruining everybody else's travel.
The trick to do it inconspicuously is you want to get this and be like, maybe there's a little something in my eye here. Oh shit, not again.
I swear,
like,
I never smell me.
I have smelled myself maybe 3 times.
You guys,
it's always been because I forgot.
You guys both seem to have had it. Like I don't think I've ever smelt my own BO. Surely I've had it. You know, like I could be playing basketball, which is rare. You know, but I'm sure I'm stinky, but I don't smell stinky to me. What I do sometimes get is like my deodorant, which is like a speed stick. It's this white powder or whatever. It has a very slight lube effect, and I will miss it if it's not there. And you know, it'd be like, right.
You won't feel your arms sliding a little more gracefully as you're walking,
exactly,
as they usually do with their lube.
I'll feel my like the way I know that I've forgotten is it'll feel moist. You know, it'll get wet down there because I use what is it, like, I don't know, Old Spice or something. I usually use the clear stuff because it goes on clear, but I've got some white stuff now I didn't mean to buy, and I'm just running the course. But anyway,
I find if it's white in a powder, it always stops like perspiration. Whereas if it's some sort of clear rub-on thing, sometimes it's like a deodorant but not an antiperspirant. And I want the combo. I want the full thing.
Yeah, I definitely want the combo.
You need the combo. You can't just have that perfume deodorant where you smell okay for 15 minutes.
Sometimes, like, I'll do like a cool thunder or whatever, and someone's like, "You smell good. Is that cologne?" And it's like, no, it's only deodorant, and it's kind of embarrassing that you smell it at all.
That's my deodorant that's about to stop taking effect.
You'll smell that too.
Yeah. Do you guys ever use Gold Bond? Like Gold Bond powder on your genitals for sporting events? Did you ever do that?
No.
Woody, I know you played hockey. Did you ever do a little dusting of that, like you were, a fossil searcher? Searcher. God, I'm an idiot. Whatever the word, archaeologist.
This is not even something I've ever. What's a fossil searcher? What's an archeologist have to do with gold?
I'm
saying like you know how in Jurassic Park he was dusting the fossils. I'm saying like you're dusting your genitals with the Gold Bond powder.
All right,
but anyway, like it keeps it dry. It's wonderful. You don't even have to be playing sports. That should be our new sponsor. Free first plug. Get some Gold Bond, maybe with menthol if you're into some risky business. Splash it around your junk before you go out for the day, and tell me you don't have a skipping your step halfway through, and you're like, I'm not sitting in ball soup right now.
Here's my concern with this thing. So you've probably, say sucked on a boob, and you work your way to the side, and then there's this like, oh, I got deodorant in that one. Like, you cope with it. You try to pretend it didn't happen, but
I'll look an armpit. I'll go right to the source.
I hear you, but if it starts antiperspiranting my tongue, I'm trying to go somewhere else, right? I don't want you to know I'm anti-armpit. I'm just not coming back because now my tongue is like incapable of making any saliva or something.
My girlfriend sprays this stuff everywhere. It's some sort of perfumey. It's definitely some sort of perfume stuff, and she sprays it everywhere. And it's like on her thighs and her ass and like around her vagina and like it's like she sprays everything with it, and it's sort of an antiperspirant.
So wait, you're back with the girl again?
Oh God, I couldn't get away. That's what I thought I was out.
All right, so no, I need to go to that topic, but to wrap up the Gold Bond thing, I'm afraid that if I do that, I won't be as good at receiving oral sex as I am today. I'm afraid I'll take the edge off my game. I don't want her to be all Gold Bondy mouth. Yeah, cotton mouth because of that. That's my concern. But Kyle is back with Miss Crazy again.
All right, let's not call her Miss Crazy because she listens to the show.
Oh,
but yeah,
hey.
I try. Well, you know she's a Patreon.
Oh, that's right. She's a Patreon. I actually like her. I right before you guys broke up, I was like, she was really growing on me. She went to movie night once, I think, and then it might have been a different call where we talked about her skinning a possum, and it seemed like when I met her in person, she was very quiet, and I kept trying to get the conversation to go, but she just wasn't feeling it. But when I met her on Skype, I was like, yeah, she's on her way to becoming one of the guys. And then Kyle cut her out. And I even told you like that. I was like starting to like her. But now she's back.
I did my best. I was just trying to cut it off and end it, and she just wouldn't allow it. And her feelings were that she had been she was afraid of screwing up in front of me, and so I hadn't seen the real her, and that she wanted a chance to loosen up and to let loose and to show me the real her that's not like tripping over herself trying not to fuck up. So I agreed to that, and that's what's going on.
Tell her you don't want that version of her. You want the good version that knows her place and is quiet.
Yes.
In any case,
I fell in love with that version, baby. You can't change on me.
It hardly matters on a scale of 1 to 10, like looks wise, she's a 10. And I think that's playing a big role in how she got back into Kyle's heart.
She's really hot. She's very, very attractive. She's got a wonderful body.
And she's pretty. There is no room for improvement physically. Done. End of conversation. So you've heard me talk before. Like I'll say, grab some random Jennifer Lawrence or Scarlett Johansson or whatever. And I'm like, these girls are beautiful, but every college campus has 6 of those. Every high school campus has 2 or 3. Kyle's got one.
I really do. She's very, very attractive. I tell her all the time. I'm just like when we have talks like that, I'll be like, look, you're gorgeous. I like walking next to you places. People are all staring and shit. It's great. I love it. They're like, what's he doing with her? What's going on there? It's
big penis.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what she says. And we'll walk through Home Depot, and as we pass each aisle, some dude is like, ooh. People are looking and staring, and she's very good looking. She's very attractive, but that wasn't the part I was having an issue with. And she says she's going to try to improve that part. I don't know. I guess we're going to see how that goes. Whatever. She's back home with her parents right now, visiting, doing some early Thanksgiving thing. So she'll be back in a couple days.
Sweetheart, if you're listening to this, and I call you sweetheart because I don't want to give away your real name, not because we're sweethearts. But sweetheart, if you're listening to this, you know what Kyle likes? He likes chicks that dig fence posts. So you can come on over. You can help me plant a fence since Kyle won't do it, and you'll forever be his.
Yeah, Woody's been trying to rope me into helping with an enormous fencing project that he's going to have at his new compound over there. And while I'm happy to give advice and any information I might have about such things, I'm building some stuff at my own place right now. I'm putting up I'm digging holes with fence post diggers and putting up fence posts and doing all these target stand things for gun targets. Mm-hmm. And it's back-breaking work. It's really hard. Me and my dad are digging these holes together, and I'll dig for about 2 minutes, and he'll dig for 2 minutes, and the holes are this big around and 3.5, 4 feet deep.
What happens when you hit a rock?
You hit it harder and harder until it breaks.
Is that what you do? Because I've hit rocks before, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, now what? Do you just put it in a new spot? That rock you just described, they exist all over my world. What do you do? Can you break it?
If it were a thing where if it were a situation where we couldn't break it, I guess we'd have to move it. But we usually just break them.
Do you literally stab it with a post hole digger until it breaks?
Or some other tool. If we got to get something else, and if we got to get a fence post and sit it on top of it and use a fence post driver, just break the rock. Usually there aren't any boulders. My area doesn't have a lot of that sort of thing. It's mostly where we're digging is in a valley, and I don't know too much about geology, but I feel like it's an area where a lot of silt and loose, fertile soil has settled over the years. But when we hit rocks, you just power through them.
I know. My new house has some big rocks, and like even as you like drive the pasture or something, it like it doesn't stick up. It's not higher than the grass, but it's like there's no grass there, and it's 3 square feet of granite. Like you can see, like if you were to just imagine the rest of this, like if what I'm looking at is representative of the rest of this thing, this rock is almost completely buried and the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder, like, you know, if I were to put a pool in there or just dig a fence line, how many of these things am I going to bump into?
I was in Texas, and there was this place where there was a large area that appeared to be like that. Like there must have been a rock the size of a hospital buried under the ground. But it was absurd. You just walked on rock for like, you know, I was hunting pigs, and it was you know, I'm walking through the woods at night in full moon with fucking night vision goggles and a AR-10, and like it's just rock as far as you can see. And the way they put the fence post there is they drilled holes down into the rock and put the fence post in the hole. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Just so you know, I read a text a minute ago. Taylor's having trouble getting booted, and he's being delayed, which makes it hard to participate. So he's just like resetting his internet, and he'll come back as soon as he can. So I'm buying this thing, and it's got all this land, and I'm new to open spaces. Like growing up, I lived on a 1/4-acre lot in Morristown, New Jersey, and then we went to Ocean City, and the lots got even smaller. I don't know what it was. It was a double wide lot, which was like a big deal, but I'm not sure what a standard lot size is in Ocean City, New Jersey. But it's a beach town, so they're all tiny. If you don't know, real estate's expensive there, so people tend to live on tiny little land. And then I moved here. And I think our lot is 0.4 acres, which is bigger than some, but not spacious, right? It's 0.4 acres, less than a half an acre is not a country boy, right? It's a tiny little lot. I could throw a rock and I might be able to hit 4 houses with a rock from my plot. You know, we're all bunched in here on the end of a cul-de-sac. And my new place, that's not true. So like, I'll sit here and do research, but I'm starting from nothing. And I'll look for like 5 hours and say, all right, this is how I'm going to solve this problem, or this is how I'm going to solve that problem. And I run it by Kyle, and he's like, nope, this is probably how you do that. And then, you know, as my research bubbles into like 7 hours and 10 hours, it's like, God, he was right about this. And then he was right about that. And I'm discovering that over the years, Kyle, although, you know, hasn't seemed to take a passion for farming, has been around it enough that he knows a thing or two. If I sat him on my tractor, he'd probably drive it better than me.
I've driven a lot of tractors.
See? I've driven one.
I drive tractors a lot. We, you know, whenever you need to move something big or haul something or drag something or dig a hole or push something away, and tractors are great. We were setting up those target stands the other day using railroad cross ties, and those things are very big and heavy. They're like, I don't know, 8 feet long and like a foot in every dimension, like a foot wide, a foot thick, etc. And you know, we put 2 of them in the ground like this, and you had to lay another one on top to like cap it off. And lifting that thing would have been absurd. But my dad's tractor's got like those like a forklift would have, those forks, and you just
pallet forks.
Yeah, just grab it with a fork and sit it on top like it's nothing. You know, you've just got so much. Tractors are great.
I'm getting pallet forks. That's going to be one of my first things. I was like, I just want that. I don't know what else. Maybe a box blade, and that'll be my out of the gate purchases. Aside from the mower, which I already bought. What was that? Oh, today I did 2 things on my tractor. So after getting the furnaces and fireplaces and all that stuff on propane to work, Jackie left, and I was gonna head home. I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna buzz around the pastures on my tractor and see like what the scoop is. And like there's different areas that aren't mowed, and I'm like, what's in them? Is it trash? Is it something important? Is there like a well there, or, you know, like I'm just gonna go look at the things. And there was a tree stump. It was all dug out. I described this like a PKA or 2 ago, and they filled it in. Like I think as like a goodwill gesture. Clearly it was work, but they put fill dirt all around the tree stump, and it's like I was gonna pull that. So I tried to dig it out with a front end loader, and I was like like someone playing a video game on their first day, And it wasn't that I was hitting the wrong buttons. Instead, I had to like keep looking at them, and I had to think before I pressed each one. And if you remember your first day playing COD on PC, you're like, is it? I think it's G for grenade, and it might be F, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it wasn't that I was screwing it all up. It was that everything was slow and unnatural, and like I had to think, double check, and then go. And I look like a amateur hour because
It took me a long time to be able to use the front end loader correctly, to be able to like if there's a pile of dirt there and I'm wanting to move this pile of dirt over here, like to get it down, to be in the right gear, and the bucket tilts just right and it's low enough that it scoops right up into it while you're at speed, and you hit the
driving
clutch
forward
so
and then go up.
Yeah, exactly. You go in, scoop it up, and kind of you hit the clutch. You don't let the thing bog down and choke itself out, and you pick the thing up, tilt your bucket back, shake it a couple times, get the excess off, and then the whole thing. But that angle and everything, it can be hard to grasp on a lot of front end loaders. On the right side of like the loader arm, there's a little pole. There's
got
a
that.
pole. Okay.
Yeah.
For everybody else, there's an indicator where, like, as you're tilting the bucket, backwards and forwards, there's an indicator that's a rod moving inside of a thing, and when
Cylinder.
that rod is a cylinder, yeah, and you can tell by that like how your bucket is.
If the top of the rod is at the top of the cylinder, your bucket's flat, and if it's poking through, then I guess your bucket is pointed up, and if it's down low, I might have this backwards. No, I'm doing it right. And if you can't see it at all, if it's down there, your bucket's pointed down. And the task I was doing today was a little tougher than I think what you described, the dirt pile, and that it was pretty much removing dirt in front of a tree stump. So, like, if you went a little bit too far, you were full stop, right? Whereas I think it's sort of a gradual, how far can you go with a pile of dirt? Once you hit the tree stump, it's like, wasn't supposed to touch that because nothing's pushing the tree stump. But anyway, I was buzzing around. I fixed my driveway. It was like ruddy and stuff, and
I kind of want to come take care of that tree stump for you. I want to come up there with like 50 pounds of tannerite and fucking get out there with a mattock and a hoe and a shovel and just dig a big hole up underneath it and just put it all in there and then bury it all back down and then blow it the fuck up.
That old viral video where they blew up a whale to get rid of it? And it turns out the whale still exists, and whale pieces landed on everything, and cars were totaled when the whale blubber landed on it.
100-pound pieces of rotten blubber were falling from the sky, yeah.
Yeah, the guy made a huge mistake. I see that a little bit as how removing a tree stump with tannerite would go.
Nah. Well, it's a difference between high explosive and they're using TNT, we're using tannerite, and we're going to less of it and not a rotten whale carcass.
It's tempting. I gotta tell you, it's tempting.
You could just go out there and just soak the thing in gas. You could build a fire around it, just burn the thing up.
The thing is that right now, when they've filled the dirt in around it, it's almost, I don't know how to describe it, but the dirt it's like it's graded properly and the dirt goes up when you want a hole around it. And I was playing with the tractor enough. It might just be the wrong tool. This is loose dirt. It might be smarter to go out there with a shovel and just spend 15 minutes doing it. Whereas a tractor it's really a pain in the butt to try to get around it with the front end loader, and then you have to go back and go forward and dump it somewhat farish away. And
you should, we'll look at some. I'll show you some YouTube videos later of some people doing like some advanced front end loader techniques. Where they use the bucket to lift the front. If you can't get one of those things stuck virtually. Like if you're down in a creek or something and it won't climb back out of it, you can use the bucket. You can just reach out and lift the front tires and pull yourself out and repeat the process.
Excavators do that too. So I know that. I think it's just a matter of I don't know. Picture a cylinder, a tree stump with dirt up against the base of it, and you've got a big flat thing. It just seems like it's the wrong tool. An excavator would be the right tool.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the right tool, but I don't have that.
Excavators are fun.
But it seems like because it's just loose fill that I'd be able to shovel it out in 15 minutes. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But, anyway, tree stump talk. Well, or I could leave it there, but I think I want to burn it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it and then mow over it and clean things up. So, yeah. Merca, how's your internet? Do you think you fix it up?
Oh, awful. But
I'm gonna plug my phone in.
I think I'm hearing you guys in real time
So,
because I started to like make a couple comments, and then like your guys' voices speed up, and so then I just hear myself commenting on something that you guys said 9 seconds.
are you still there? It's the Woody Show. It's better than the Chiz Show. I'm here all alone, and Chiz doesn't sing very well, so it has that in common with the Woody Show. Hey, Kyle.
Oh, great! I was afraid that would happen. I had to plug my phone in. It died.
Well, I'm glad you're back. New topic, I'm sure. I'm trying to think. What do I have here?
There was the terrorist attack in Israel where they went in with axes and stuff and chopped up those 5 people, and 3 of them were Americans. And Israel is not going to give the bodies back for the first time ever to
Really?
the terrorists, the choppers, not the choppies.
Right.
They do not get they're not sending them back. They're like, no, we're going to hang on to these assholes. We're just going to keep these. That's the first time they've ever done that. They always give the terrorists bodies back to wherever they go, wherever they came from, whatever.
I support that move, Israel. As much as I think that you guys should stand on your own 2 feet, and I'm a little done with the overwhelming U.S. support, which some people like, some people don't. I definitely like your stance on anti-terrorism stuff. You're pretty much a take no shit country, and I think most Americans admire that about Israel.
Yeah, they especially in this situation, like they went into the synagogue and with the chopping people up, and those are just the ones that died. I don't even know how many other people got hit. That sucks. I'd hate some fucker come after me with a machete or an axe or anything. I don't want anybody chopping on me. I like to believe in this day and age. We're far enough along. We don't get chopped up anymore. You might get shot, but nobody's gonna chop me up.
Yeah.
Jamie Lannister isn't gonna come along and fucking take my leg off, but in Israel he might.
I was just gonna call. I was just gonna screw
Ahmed
up.
Lannister's gonna roll up in there with an axe and take a limb off.
Aquaman Lannister.
Ahmed
Ahmed.
Lannister.
Ahmed Lannister. I see where you're going with this.
He's
Now
a
I
cousin.
follow. Yeah, right. From the Middle East. I follow. That show starts again in March, right?
I hope so. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not gonna watch any of the teasers either. I think I'm done with that in general. I think I've come to the conclusion that movie trailers, teasers, all that stuff takes away from the final movie viewing experience. So I'm going to stop. And that used to be a big passion of mine. I really enjoyed watching movie trailers for upcoming films. I would sit there for an hour, and just watch one after another to see what was coming out soon. But not anymore. I think it takes away from the movie, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I want to go in blind
Mirka,
as much as possible.
I think you're back, right, Mirka?
I think so.
I think so.
Nice.
There's a bit of delay there. I have a question for you.
Still
Are you ready?
quite a bit behind. Yeah, I can hear. Yes,
right.
I'm ready.
That was fast. If you could hit the redo button on one moment in your life, what would it be? This is an Ask Reddit question. And some of the top answers were not being a lazy bitch when I had to go see mom. Maybe she would have chosen life instead a month later. Well, damn. In high school, I fapped to a lot of girls that I found out later in life I could have slept with. Change what I decided to go to college for. This guy says
That's a good question.
he would have married his wife sooner. All right, so those are some of the top-rated answers on Ask Reddit. Redo button.
If it was like a change your perspective kind of thing, I probably would go back to high school and just redo. I had a perception, not everybody obviously, but you think that everybody else thinks that they have their shit in check and that you're the odd one out and that you don't have anything under control and everybody else is just living what they post on Facebook and whatnot. But I would tell myself, I'd teach myself the essence of fake it till you make it with confidence. Just ways to put out there, wow, that guy's confident as fuck, even if it doesn't matter. I'd put that foot forward more. But if it was for a specific event, I think PKA 140 could have been handled better. You could have done better there.
Is that what that was? 140 or 141? I don't know why I have that stuck in my head.
It was great.
141 maybe? I don't know. I got that. I don't know which number it is. I've blocked that section of memory out.
How would one do such a thing?
Alcohol.
Yes.
My internet went out that night, so I was only there for like the first half hour, 40 minutes, something like that.
Did you listen to that show by chance?
I went back and caught the highlights. Mostly the Merca highlights. They were great. Lefty would be like, well, I don't know about it. And he'd just be like, shut the fuck out, Lefty. You fucking Native American cocksucker.
See, it's one of those things that, like, going back and watching it, I'm like, God, if this were anyone else but me, I would be howling right now. Howling at how funny this was. But it's me, and so I'm like, just sitting there cringing so hard my face hurts. Just like, oh, you dumb fuck.
My favorite line.
Why'd you do this?
I described you as a little drunk at one point, and I was being generous and kind, I thought. And you're like, what, do you think I'm a little drunk? You're adorable.
Oh, I know. I was just such a condescending prick.
I liked it. It worked for me.
I talked to you the next day. You were like, that is the drunkest I have ever been.
I think it probably was, because I didn't know I was doing the show that night. I'd been day drinking with a couple friends, and then Woody or someone texted me. That whole day was a blur and was like, hey, you want to do PKA? And I'm like, I could power through a few more beers and then still do a drinking episode. And so I just continued to drink up till the point where the show started. And then because I was alone and there was no one there at that point to, like, tell me, hey, settle down, idiot. Like, I just kept cracking them open and drinking them so fast. And God, this is so embarrassing.
It was so great, man. I didn't think you did anything embarrassing, because it wasn't that. Mostly you were just, you know.
Kyle's frozen right now. So what I want to know.
Aggressive and angry with.
Yeah, I was just being needlessly aggressive. But it was enjoyable to watch from an entertainment perspective.
Here's what I want to know. I'm sorry to cut you off if it sounded like that on your side, Kyle, but on ours it was just no audio.
I caught it.
I'm sorry, what?
I understood.
Oh,
what
okay.
happened.
Taylor, so the core of your argument that you were making on that, your drunken argument, was that, like, you felt like Lefty wasn't funny, that he shouldn't be in the position he was in on PKA, and that I guess that was the core of it, you know. And I guess you personally weren't a fan of his work. Sometimes when you're drunk, you say the things you think, and like, you know, that you would otherwise hold back. And sometimes when you're drunk, you have an opinion that you only hold very temporarily when you're very, very drunk, right? And that's not even what you really think. You just were drunk wacko.
Drunk you was led to that thought through a drunk process. That can happen. You can get drunk and someone can be like, you know, Lefty's a cocksucker. You'd be like, you know, he is a cocksucker. Fuck it. Where, like, sober you would be like, no, he's all right.
And then, of course, the other possibility
you convince yourself
is drunk you says what sober you thought. And I've always wondered, like, which one of those was it? Or somewhere in the middle?
with that one, I can say, sorry if I'm cutting over someone. You guys both just stopped for me.
Listening.
But for that one, I can remember that. Like I don't think I've watched more than 1-2 of Lefty's videos ever. At that point, I guarantee I hadn't watched any of them. Like I'd watched him on PKA, and I thought he was fine. Like I didn't understand like the people hating on him or the people really loving on him. Nothing like that. I took a position in my drunken stupor, and I defended it with just annoying, condescending vigor. And oh, God, it's so awful. Sorry again, Lefty.
We were the internet went out, and I was at my girlfriend's house, and I was like, I can't wait to watch the show tomorrow. She's like, why? You're not even on it. I was like, well, Taylor was very drunk, and he seemed real angry at Lefty. I think Lefty might have done something to him. I don't know, but we'll find out tomorrow because it's all going up on the internet. And when it came out, I was like, all right, let's sit down.
Forever.
Forever. Yes. Yeah. PKAs don't go away. I bet even this conversation is going to get that video, 1,000 more looks. They're going to hear Drunk Merca and his drunken, uninformed opinion on Lefty at the time. Kyle, if you could hit the redo button on one moment in your life, what would it be?
Yeah, my tomfoolery.
there was a guy that bullied me in high school, and I would like to. And the reason that I didn't like attack him was because I had this thing like in my head about like not getting in trouble, and like that it would be a really big deal, like a life-altering event, if I were to say get suspended for a few days. I felt like it's. It can be in some cases, like in my high school, if you miss more than 5 days, you fail. You fail that semester. So that can be a thing. So like it. But looking back now, I'd have been like, dude, just do summer school. Whack him with a wrench. Like that guy needed it real bad. He was a douchebag. He was like 3 years older than me. He needed a real good wrenching to the face. Should have beat him up. Totally could have.
3 years older is a tall order, or it was for me anyway.
Oh yeah, he was. I meant it with a wrench though, or rubber hammers. I didn't want to kill him, but he needed a weapon was gonna have to be produced.
Right.
Like we were.
Mini baseball bat I always thought was nice to wield. Like you could do it real quick. And
well, it was at school, Like I had to pick something from shop class I could use. I got wrenches, I got rubber hammers,
I see. All right.
This guy was like a good 2 or 3 years older. He was a grown up. He had more facial hair than I got now. He's a grown up. He's a grown man, and I was still a kid. And he was picking on me, shoving me around and stuff, and he needed a good beating.
No way that should happen in high school.
He might still need one.
Now what he needs? There's a new Kyle. He needs a good shooting. Man's got plenty of holes in him, but not enough.
I had this fantasy about hitting him with that rubber hammer, though. That's what I'd like to do. I had
You're really stuck on the rubber hammer thing.
That's
what was
what
the scenario that you had?
Can I make a suggestion, Kyle? Shoot first, rubber hammer second. I just think it'll work out really well.
Now that I've shot you in the leg, you won't be able to escape this flurry of rubber hammers.
Akimbo rubber hammers.
Of course, in my fantasy, there's one in each hand.
Did you have a monologue of sorts prepared?
It's not even like this. It's this. It's a windmill of hammers. Remember in Planet of the Apes when the monkeys would beat somebody? It's like that.
My name is Kyle Montoya. You shoved me into the lockers. Prepare to die.
That's a great movie too.
What did he do to bully you? Did he just kind of shove you around, or did he humiliate you, or?
Well, yeah, I was trying to get with his girlfriend, and he hated that. And
the audacity!
I can't believe you turned out to be the bad guy.
I totally took his girlfriend too. 3 years his junior. Fuck that guy. I did.
Now you're the little punk that required a beating, from what I can tell.
Nah, we'll see. All right, so like.
This guy should use a thick rope with a knot in it. You hit Kyle.
That's what he should use against me.
Yeah, I'm helping him with his fantasy since you stole his girl.
I got his girl. I ended up anyway. He was a dick about it. It was real funny. Like I don't know, like a year or two later when like she's like on the phone with him, like breaking up with him. He's just like, just don't tell me it's him. Don't tell me it's him. Don't make me look like a fool. And I remember that. It's me. That was just so. I guess I kind of got my, my revenge.
Just desserts.
Yeah. The more you tell the story, the more you seem like a prick in it.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind this guy was like 17 and I was like 14. The girl.
How old was the girl?
14.
If I was in his situation, I think I might have frequently shoved you into lockers and just roughed you up a little bit to make myself feel better about you stealing my girl.
Well, I hadn't stolen her at the time. I was trying to steal her.
Well, wait, that changes everything.
Yeah,
was stealing her was that just a retaliatory measure, just
Absolutely
to be like
not.
Fuck you? So you tried to steal her?
No. I went on and like dated this is somebody I went on dated a lot more. But in any case, no, I was just trying to get her. I was flirting, like being friends with her, talking to her on the phone. I might have grabbed her butt a few times, something like that. But I felt like he needed a good rubber hammering in any case. And I guess in the end I kind of won because I got the girl, and he's some kind of a mechanic somewhere. So fuck him. I remember there's this one guy from high school.
You know what I picture being near him right now? Rubber hammers.
Probably, yeah. He's sitting with a lot of rubber hammers now. It's, but, there was this other guy in high school I didn't like, and I went and checked up on him. I didn't do I don't go on Facebook, but we were on Facebook for some reason with someone else. I do not go personally. But we were on there, and we were looking at people we went to high school with, and there's this guy, and this guy was like, I probably shouldn't say what position he was on the football team, but this guy was important. He was the main guy, right? Like everybody super popular, everybody liked him. He fucked all the good-looking girls, but now he's a drill press operator, and I love that. That his entire purpose in life is this now. Over and over all day. So fuck that guy and fuck the other guy and I win. So I guess I wouldn't do those over though. I guess I'd go back and beat him up then, but then I'll kind of like double win. I should probably think of a better one that doesn't make me seem like such an asshole.
Good luck with that.
Right?
Yeah, your choices were very petty.
No, it really did. It was bad, you know. The guy was picking on me. It made me. It scared me. I was afraid to go to that class, you know. It was some emotional trauma. It hurt me, and it made me feel bad, and I'd like to go back and fix that. That'd be good. Take that one off.
That's one of the things about these, like, I don't want to say courage tests because it feels. But if you don't like rise to the courage test, it eats you up, doesn't it? Like
those. This is a bit of advice that I'll give anyone out there. So there's going to be a moment in your life where there's two options, and one of them is action and the other is inaction. And you're often going to be afraid that action will be worse than inaction, and it rarely is. If I had hit that guy with a rubber hammer, I'd have probably had to go to summer school, but that would have been the worst of it. There'd have been stories about me beating this guy up to this day. There's still stories about me beating up a couple guys to this day. I saw somebody I went to high school with like 6 weeks ago, and they're like, yeah, man, I remember that time at the football game, and you fucked him up. Then your dad came over and laughed at him. It was great, and it's true. My dad did come over and laugh at him. He was like, look at that little son of a bitch now, Kyle. It was a whole thing. But in any case, like, don't be the coward. Be the guy who steps up and does the thing. And if you get beat up, a beating's not that bad. It's just not. Like, curl, wrap up. It's not going to be that bad. You can get punched a few times. You might end up with a bloody nose, but you're not going to lose an eye in a high school fight. Just take the beating and hit. Just make sure you get yours in too, and you'll feel better about it when you're 30. Like, what you don't want to do is be 30 and be like, motherfucker, and like holding that anger in and just wait until you're at a Citgo gas station one day and be like, there you are, and just running the guy down in your car. Like, you don't want that. Don't let that anger boil up in you until one day you're slapping your wife around, slamming beer.
Exactly. As it clearly hasn't festered in you.
It totally festered in me. I still hold a grudge against that guy. If I saw him, I'd fight him.
I've got
but he's a drill press operator. You got a few
No,
legs
that's a different guy. No. The drill press operator I'm actually cool with. I just thought it was interesting to see he peaked big time in high school, and there's no way that he's ever going to be as large and in charge as he was in high school, because he was the guy, right? He had the new car, he had whatever hot girlfriend he wanted. He was good looking. He was going to go to this school or that school and play this sport or that sport, and it was just like, oh, now you operate a drill press all day. So I thought that was a little interesting, and that's more petty because that guy wasn't really cruel to me ever. He was a nice enough guy, so that is pretty petty. But the other guy was a real piece of shit, and everyone knew he was lame, and I wish nothing but bad things upon him. Because I am petty like that. I make no...
You don't have to convince us.
That guy that broke my nose. That's the guy I got in a similar scenario. I've told the story, so in fast forward, I had just had my arm operated on. It was paralyzed. It was in a sling. My buddy mouthed off. The guy hit my buddy, and I reached across, like, to stop him from fighting back. And the whole time I didn't want to fight. And as I reached over with one arm in a sling and the other arm like this, the guy hit me, and he broke my nose in 2 places. I still have, like, I have a big nose, right?
Dude, fix it. Why don't you get that nose fixed? First of all, let me just say, I don't think your nose looks bad. I wouldn't have known it was broken if you didn't tell me. You always say it's been broken multiple times and it looks bad.
Very distinguished.
I don't think it's an unattractive nose.
It's not my genetic nose, though. Like, I liked
You
it
wanna know
more
how much it
before it was
costs?
broken. What'd you say?
So for about $3,000, you can do anything you want to the tip. Now, if you want to get some bridge work done, you're looking at like 5 to 8. Like for $5,000, your nose for the next 40 years will be your genetic nose.
And I don't know why I haven't done that. It's like, it's almost not that I'm not vain enough. It's that maybe I'm worried about the whole world judging me for being vain enough. Maybe that's
No,
what it
I
is.
had my nose operated on twice. I broke it twice, so like
I've had
it's got
same-
like ridges on it. Like you can tell it's not
Right
a
here.
natural nose. The angle is too sharp of where they shaved my bone down.
I
But it's not like you can really tell.
I got my nose broken one time, and there's well, you've seen skulls, like this part is not bone, but like this part is bone, and like it broke here in a line, and like the side of it separated from the bridge, so it was a complete different part here, and they had to go in with all these tools, and I was unconscious, but they had to, they had to fix it, had to make it right again.
Yeah,
And
also-
I think it ended up pretty straight in the end. It's straight.
My nostrils
Looks
are different
excellent.
sizes, which you don't really see unless you're looking up my nostril. But I wonder if I could see it on camera. I don't know. But
I'm pretty symmetrical. What do I got going on here?
I'm
Check it out.
not, and I don't know if that's genetic or not. Yeah, you are pretty symmetrical. But I still daydream about hitting that guy back. I think I could have beaten that guy up, like the healthy version of me. And I wasn't trained or anything at the time, right? I was just a regular person. But it was like my lifeguard days. You guys have seen my lifeguard pictures. I was a pretty fit guy. And, I was big and I was strong. I worked out like 6 hours a day, except this moment I'd had surgery in a paralyzed arm for a couple days earlier. It was surgery on the nerve, which is why I couldn't move it. And I just think to myself, like, and he was smaller than me. I probably had like 30, I had like 2 inches and maybe 30 pounds of muscle on this guy. And he kicked the shit out of me because I was an invalid. And and I told this story before. He was from Pennsylvania, maybe like Bethlehem. He was just outside Philly, like the main.
Really? That's where Jess is from, Bethlehem.
Oh, okay. And his name was Yorgi or something like that. I want to say that one of the PKA fans, the fucknards, found him, and he's a pro boxer now. Well, he's retired now, right? Because he's about my age. But like it was like, oh, that dream rematch you're looking for? Might not want that. You better bring a rubber hammer.
Golden Glove, and he fought Oscar De La Hoya one time, and he went 4 rounds. But who's counting?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, if you guys find him, I'd be curious if you could find him again. I forget if his first name was Yorgi and his last name was Yorgi, but it was something in there, and he was from outside the Philadelphia area. And you guys go on.
You would have like a feud with the Italian Stallion or something. Like,
Yeah,
this is
right.
great.
Yeah, it's fucking great. So, not good luck, but yeah, I wish that I could have replayed that day. Like it was just a bad day. Nose still fucked up. The arm is still fucked up, and not that the arm was his fault. And it was just like, that whole thing played out really crappy, and I didn't deserve any of it. I didn't talk the shit. I didn't want the fight. I just, I was like, there's a group of us, like 6, and I was sort of lagging because I, was like all sickly and stuff. And then when we turned around, right, because the guys are like, stop, turn around, whatever, and we reverse. Now I'm in the front of the pack, leading the fight. Not that
I'll tell you what. If you decide to go get some work done, I'll go with you. I'll get a nose job too.
Really?
We'll get double nose jobs. Yeah.
Ooh, PKA Adventures.
Yeah.
The rhinoplasty office. So we're looking through the catalog of the different ones you have.
Patreon money. I'm getting a new nose. Kyle's getting a chin. And both of our girls are getting, I guess, Kyle's girlfriend's getting some bigger boobs. It's great. Whole plastic. Yeah, I would literally do that. Yeah, you get a nose job, I'll get one too.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to come out. We're each going to add 1 point on our 1 to 10 scale.
I want to make this a little smaller. I want to make it a little more narrow.
Really?
Yeah, it feels
Well,
too
Kyle, let me see your nose. I don't even see if there's anything fucked up with your nose.
You got a pretty good profile, but I feel like it's too bulbous on the end. I feel like I got kind of a honker there. I want to get that fixed. I'd like to have...
It is very, 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 very bulbous.
Thank you.
He's playing with you.
So I want to get that fixed. I feel like... And there's this little bump right here on the... There's no way the camera will even pick it up, but I can see it. There's this little bump right here I'd like to get rid of. maybe a chin implant, you know. Maybe
This is crap. You need something more than that because they're
Maybe-
going to be like, all right. So Kyle, you're going to have some work done. I understand that. That'll be $75. Woody, $8,000.
Well, I figured my nose job alone would be 3 or 4. I figure we go in as a package deal as well. Maybe we get it for free because of who we are. Maybe like they're like, yeah, we'd like some publicity. Dr. Schnatchenlagen would love to be the guy who does
Dude,
PK.
just throwing this out
Yeah.
there. We could bring the girls and stay at my place. I don't know where we should get the surgery done, but if we get it done in the Raleigh area, we got extra rooms. We got an extra house. Did you know we have a little house?
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I say little house and people are like, no, I wouldn't want to stay there. No, it's a legit fucking house. Heat, cold, stove, sink,
How many
washer,
square feet
dryer.
house? Like 1,200?
I'd have to measure it. It's kind of small. I'll measure it.
It
1,200
has
might
all
be
the
high.
things.
It might be like
It's definitely nicer than a
1,000.
one-bedroom apartment or something, though, right?
yeah, it is. It's like a one bedroom and then there's like an open area and then it goes to I guess what would be a small little living room and then it has which is like attached to the kitchen sort of thing. It is way better than you normally temporarily stay in, right? Like it's better than any hotel suite that I've typically had. I don't know any of those views and stuff, and it's certainly better. Like typically when you stay at someone's house, they give you a bedroom. This would be a bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, a shower, a washer, a dryer.
Yeah, you got your own place basically, all to yourself.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a guest house.
It's a guest house. Yeah.
But yeah, I've always wanted to do it. I am in no way opposed to doing it. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You know, you wouldn't hate on me for like cutting my hair a certain way or trimming my facial hair or like some acne cream or any of that stuff or working. We're all
Working out.
happy when if somebody works out, an hour a day for months and months, sweating and buying products. You're okay with that, but I can't go to see a doctor and give him $3,000 to like take a little extra skin off that I don't
Why
like.
is it okay to work out but not okay to save up? Some stuff you
Yeah.
can't handle
Yeah.
on the weight bench.
Maybe
Hey, Kyle, so what else would you want done other than your nose?
Oh, if like the sky's the limit and I'm pulling a Joan Rivers,
Sky's the limit.
I think I'd maybe get like a chin implant, maybe I feel like there's a little bit of a wrinkle right here, like when I furrow my brow. I don't like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd
I
like to fix
love
that.
this Taylor response. Everything he totally justifies. Like,
Let's see what else. I think my ears are all good. They're a little small, but I like that.
does it
Everybody's
bother
like,
you that your ears are slightly different sizes?
You
They're
do
not-
have very cute ears.
I don't think they are different sizes. They're not exactly
take it off.
symmetrical, but
Yeah.
They're,
So the left one's higher. The other one that you're showing is higher. Yeah, that one's significantly higher. And
Definitely. Have you thought about having it corrected to move your eyes a little closer together?
no, I'm very happy with my eye placement, my eyeball placement.
have
I'm
you
pretty
thought about
happy.
eyebrow implants at all? Because they're kind of like eyebrows. You know, when girls wake up and they haven't done their makeup, it's like a really faint eyebrow that needed some enhancement.
I
Yeah.
think they're just not showing up on the camera well because of all the lights and stuff.
Yeah,
Like a chemo patient.
I got eyebrows, motherfucker.
I mean, I'm not saying you have no eyebrows. I just thought, have you thought about eyebrow augmentation?
No.
Your eyebrows leave me wanting.
Really? All right. Well, I can pencil them in a little bit next time, thicken them up for you guys, make them look nice. What my
I
eyelashes?
can spare like half of both of my eyebrows for you.
Yeah, give me that fancy eyebrow you've got. I want one of those. Now, if you were to get plastic surgery, Taylor, would you try to go less owl-like or more owl-like?
No, I go full turtle. Full into the turtle.
Really? You just like a shell implant? You could.
Because you're
do-
already halfway to the owl man thing. You're really gonna.
Yeah, I don't know.
throw
I
that
don't see
away.
why you're
I
going
get-
turtle.
I do get just as many people saying turtle as owl, or not all, more owl, but still quite a few turtle.
Now, how
I
many
guess I
say
could go
Eddie
owl.
Munster?
Not many because they're not that old.
Yeah.
Well played. I like it. Yeah, touche.
All of the geriatric
Know what I do.
subreddit members. But yeah, I have no problem getting some work done. I'd probably get some maybe a little Botox, a couple laugh lines here and there. Maybe I don't know.
Would you get an ass implant ever?
Yes, that was my next step. You fucking took it out of my mouth. Totally gonna get. I'll do that for sure. Maybe I'll do that instead. Hey, if you get your nose done, I'll get butt implants. I would love. Any man who out there who would say no to this is just ridiculous. Let me give you the pros to ass implants. First of all, you've got a nicer ass. Your pants are gonna fit better. Your ass looks better. Women like butts. You're more attractive. Mm-hmm. You've got a cushion down there now. You see people bringing those cushions around with them to sit in hard seats. You got yours in your ass. You're walking around with one.
This is good for the tractor.
But on the negatives, it could explode in a plane or other pressurized areas.
Nah, that's bullshit.
No,
I don't believe that. Kim Kardashian, and they look good. The ass implant technology is about the same as I don't know. Aeronautics technology. It's peak.
Is it?
We're doing yes. Look at Kim. Yeah, totally. Tons of. You don't hear about ass implants as much as you do breast implants, and that's weird to me because it's kind of like porn's dirty secret and a few celebrities' dirty secret. Nicki Minaj has butt implants. So does what's her name? Kim Kardashian. She's got butt implants. Lots of porn stars do. There's a subreddit called Bolted on Asses, and you can see what a fake ass on a woman looks like, and they're just big. But I've never seen it on a dude. I haven't looked into that, but I can only imagine that they would make it look like an athetic butt instead of a big,
right? Because I'm
rump.
picturing, there's a certain build that. There's a certain build that sometimes black men have, right? And they just have next to their spine I don't know what that muscle is called that runs on either side of your spine, but that's particularly defined. And then this ass that defies gravity and is just a very strong ass muscle. Bam. And something like I see it, but I feel like it's a not uncommon black guy build. It just. I feel like this is racist
glutes.
To point this out, but
black guys have big glutes. Lots of black dudes you'll see have booties.
Yeah, women too. But there's. I have this concept of the perfect specimen, right? Aliens come down in their flying saucers, and they're going to bring home a perfect specimen human male. I feel like even though this is U.S., I guess is mostly my exposure, even though there are fewer black men. Their odds are at least 50-50 that the perfect specimen human male they pick out will be a black guy. Just, that guy who looks like an NFL wide receiver.
Yeah,
There's no appropriate way to respond to that. I can't.
Well, I don't think it's racist to say. It's just I'll say this. I'm not going to make any genetic or evolutionary or cultural or racial comments, but when I see men with darker skin tone on the street without their shirts off, more often than not, they're cut up like a goddamn god or something.
Yeah, they're Adonis-like.
Perfect pecs and just row after row of abs that go on to their enormous cock, and they're put together real well.
That is how they pull them up when they get the perfect specimen from Earth. They grab their enormous cock,
grab the cock, and yank them up.
It's a handle.
Black guys physically are put together. On average, it seems to me, in my personal experience, better than most white guys.
If you round up 10
white.
Which is this. Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter?
Yes.
His body, to me, is as good as any human out there, right? There's more than one way to get the perfect specimen, Some guys, you might like him like an NFL wide receiver. Kobe Bryant's a perfect specimen in some situations. Conor McGregor is another example of it. You're just like, God, that guy's perfect. And sometimes I look at him and I'm like, he should be black, really. Are we sure he's Irish? Because
it's like Dennis said they were at the gym. He's like, I don't want to get too big, I don't want to bulk up too big. I want to stay lean and tight, like Christ on the cross. He's got that perfect V right there.
Jesus on the cross look.
Yeah, he's like, no pain, no gain. He's like, yeah, right. You knew that. But yeah, black. I would totally get the butt implants. I think they're a little expensive though. I was talking to a girl the other day, and she's got boob implants, and she was talking to her doctor about getting a nose job on top of it, because she was actually. I won't go into that, but she doesn't want to. She like you is trying to correct an injury, and that's how I know the price point. He was saying like 3 to 4 for the tip, and like 5 to 8 to depending on how much to do the bridge, depending on how much work there was to be. Yeah.
So if you wanted both done, would we be talking 8 to 11 or 5 to 8 was the combo?
They probably
price?
have a special.
I think
Especially
plastic
both of them.
surgery. Yeah, I honestly think plastic surgery is one of those things where like if you went in and you wanted your tits and nose done, they'll just give you a combo price. I feel like plastic surgery is like that, where unlike you couldn't go in and be like, yeah, I want my gallbladder removed and I want you to check out, fix my liver. They wouldn't be. They'd be like,
Maybe
okay,
it
well,
makes sense though, right? Because let's say hypothetically, you're gonna get your nose done, then your bridge done another day. There'd be 2 rounds of recovery nurses checking on you, 2 rounds of anesthesiologists. They're like, while we're under there, 45 minutes longer, and I can do this other thing. So I can totally see why the combo prices would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably my top like plastic surgery wants. Probably maybe a nose job, maybe a chin implant, and definitely the butt implants. I'm really
I'm
interested.
surprised by the chin implant thing. What does that even look like? I've probably seen them before and never noticed.
Just make your chin a little bit bigger, round your face out. I feel like it would balance me out a little bit nicer.
Ah, I've got the opposite problem. I need less rounding.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's like a big moon face, really.
Yeah.
Big old moon face, a waterhead.
Can you do a Cartman voice?
A Catman voice?
Marka, can you do a Cartman voice?
I don't think I've ever tried one.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! Like that's all
good.
I can think
Yeah,
of. I
you
can't do it very well.
You look exactly like a South Park character when you do that. The
Really?
perfectly circular face and I see it. Mm-hmm.
That's right. They all have the.
Just need a parka. Bring the whole look together.
I like Cartman. Cartman's my favorite character from that show.
He's up there. I think Randy's my number one.
Randy's great. I love my favorite Randy episode is when it's the Guitar Hero episode, and the boys are all playing Guitar Hero, and Randy comes out, hey boys, let me show you something. He's got a guitar, and he starts singing Kansas. He's like, carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. And he's playing it fucking hard, and he's like jamming out, all serious in his eyes, and he's like playing, and they're all just like, Dad, get out of here. We're playing a game. And he's just so let down by that. You could tell it hurt him so much because he thought he was sharing something fucking cool because his kids like Kansas.
No,
Cock Magic is a
his
little
kids
like that
Kansas,
one. You'll like it.
And they were doing Guitar Hero, and he thought like, oh, when they see that I play real guitar, it's gonna be the coolest thing yet. Real guitar is clearly better than plastic guitar, and the kids were just like, real guitar is lame.
Yeah, that was a good. That was a good episode. I wish they'd do more episodes like that.
Yeah, you got to watch that newest one as soon as we're done here because it's got a scene kind of like that one. Where
Yeah,
Randy gets a little humiliated because he misunderstood a pretense.
Nice. Yeah, I already downloaded it. I'm ready to watch it.
A good description without a spoiler. I like it, Mirka.
Oh yeah, I'm working on the spoiler thing. I can only ride that don't listen to 10 seconds ago joke for too long before people get irritable.
You have definitely stepped up your game.
Yes.
Hey, my internet cut out the other night when we were watching the movie, but did you and Chiz finish Casino Royale?
We did.
What'd you think?
Good, but not great. Like I enjoyed the movie. I guess if I was forced to choose thumbs up or down, I'd choose up.
Eva Green's hot though, right? Like the chick who was on the train with him with the money and all.
She's hot, but I go back to my standard thing, which is like she's hot, but
I think she's special.
I think your girlfriend's as hot as she is.
Let me get you some nude photographs of Eva Green here. Let me try to explain.
Please don't.
Kyle, respect her privacy. What would Bill Cosby say?
Do you guys want to watch a little movie called The Dreamers, or maybe it's just Dreamers? Eva Green's in there. Oh, here's a. I guess we could. Probably shouldn't watch that one. Eva Green. Let's see, Dreamers. That's the one I want to see.
All right.
I don't know. Just take your pick. There's lots of them here.
Eva Green, you say?
Yeah, I linked you to like the Google image search.
Oh, okay.
You linked us to the Google image? Oh, that's all right, actually.
Yeah, this is strong stuff. And it's weird to say this, given that I may or may be not looking at a naked woman right now. But and I've never seen Kyle's girl naked, but based on what she looks like clothed, I would argue that 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. They are both.
I doubt Kyle's girlfriend has quite that thicket under her garments.
I like some pubic
a
hair.
little
I
more.
don't have a problem with that. But
Do you like it in certain shapes?
any shape really.
I like a thick racing stripe.
I don't know. But this chick has really big, like nice, like natural boobies. That's a
Like raindrop off the side of a glass
Yeah.
with condensation on it.
Yeah, they're shaped in titties come in different sizes, and hers are in one of my favorite sizes. They're very perky and they kind of turn up at the end. They're great. She has excellent titties, and
Top notch.
She does lots of full frontal nudity. Like if you look,
I do appreciate that about her.
Yeah, there's some close-ups of her vag in here. If you look around,
I
you
know
get
exactly what it looks like.
exactly what it looks like,
Here's
and
the
it
meat of
matters. She's got a pretty vagina. Like she's
She
looking
does.
great.
Yeah, yeah. I will say this: in Kyle's search results, there's a fair amount of cock.
Well, I
There
did
is.
just. You can see what I searched though. I searched
Yeah, I see. Eva Green and cock. But I
nude dreamers. There's this movie called Dreamers, as you might imagine, and it's like this American student going to France or somewhere.
She plays
Maybe
a girl
not,
with a big bush.
She does that. That's part of it. But there's lots of sex and it's real good. I think Eva Green is just a perfect specimen of just physical attractiveness, far and above and beyond most normal human beings.
See,
I think her face is perfect and her eyes are just incredible. She's got just
kind of like the guy perfect specimen, right? Like, I think some would argue that prime Halle Berry is the perfect looking woman. Some would argue that Scarlett Johansson. There's some people out there who think Kim Kardashian is the height of what a woman, like a female body and pretty girl could look like. I just sit here and see 20, 30 different ways to be the perfect female specimen, and she's
her
just
face.
one of them.
look at her face though. In that last link I sent.
Oh, okay.
So this is from Kingdom of Heaven. I don't know. I thought she was particularly hot in this. Something about her makeup.
She's pretty, but
nah, I'm not blown away by this
I
because she's
am.
not naked.
I like her eyes. Her eyes are so incredible.
Are they really
All right,
though?
so
Because
let
look
me
at a
get-
couple of them, they don't look that nice. And then in those pictures where she's dressed up like a chic, they do look nice.
Pick one and link it directly, and I'll
All
show
right.
everybody.
All right, I'm looking.
Pick one, make it count. No redos.
Just pick one, and hey, here's an example of why she's so pretty. Bam.
Okay, I'm working on it.
Okay.
Very good body though.
Yes, but I mean, if her boobs were half that size, I'd still think she was perfect. Just a different one.
I want them as large as possible.
No, not as large as possible. I don't think that accounts for too large.
Well, like I don't think there is such a thing as too large.
So
There
I watched this.
absolutely is.
I watched this TV show with Colin, and it's called Freak Show. Have you guys ever watched Freak Show?
Is that
Colin
the new
loves
American
it.
Horror Story?
No, it basically a guy starts like a carnival sideshow like on the Venice boardwalk, and he has like the world's tallest man, world's shortest woman, sword swallowers, stuff like that. The freak show, like a circus freak show, and he has like temporary people come and go off the show, and I forget what the theme was, maybe strongest something or other, but he had a woman that goes by Boobzilla. And maybe I can find a picture of Boobzilla. The amazing Boobzilla.
Oh. Do you think Boobzilla had a good relationship with her dad?
Here, you can judge a book by its cover. There's the search. I'm just taking a peek before I show the stream. Oh, wait. There's one where she's wearing pasties. Do you think that's bad for YouTube?
None of these are good for YouTube. Ugh.
I think pasties are okay. Plus, for 3 hours into the show.
So I'm just going to find a picture of Boobzilla that has nipple. This is just her yelling. I believe there's a Wikipedia page. Maybe that will be what I'm looking for. No pictures?
Oh,
All right, I'll have this in a second. I'll just pick one.
All right, so I'm picking this picture for Eva Green. It was hard to find. This is that's just her face, but I like her face. I find her face to be virtually perfect.
All right, I'll be right there. Oh, my browser kind of malfunctioned. Still malfunctioning. That didn't work out.
I'm gonna grab my phone from the wall. I'll be right back.
All right.
Actually, I gotta pee. And Merca, try not to disappear while I'm gone. And Woody, if he disappears, then you have to start singing a song.
I'm down for that. All right, so let's see. Kyle's Eva Green has a pretty face picture. She does indeed have a pretty face. Having said that, I feel like, every college has 6 girls this pretty, or 15
Every
or 20.
college, yeah, is way more than 6 girls this pretty.
Yeah.
So she's not blowing me away or anything, but she is very attractive.
I agree. I don't know that there is a face on Earth that is so much prettier than the other faces that I'm like, this is perfection.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Once you get to a critical mass of hot, it's just good enough. It's like you change stuff, but it's not going to make it better or worse. It's just going to kind of.
Did you
be
see
different.
the Jennifer Lawrence nudes?
We all looked at them together, I think, or maybe we didn't. I saw a couple of them.
I think I've seen them all. I heard that there were videos. I never saw the videos, but
I have to look that up.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
But my takeaway from the Jennifer Lawrence nudes is that she is hot, but she is one of many equal maximum hotnesses.
Exactly. Yeah, like she is very good looking, very attractive, hot.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you take your thumb and cover up the head on any of those pictures and it's just a naked body, like if someone told you like, oh, that's some chick I used to date, you'd be like, oh, nice. But you wouldn't be like, oh my god, like freaking out about it, like it's just because of who it is, and that's what really makes it exciting for people. It's not that it's objectively hotter.
Yeah. It's just she's hot. She's achieved full hotness. 5% of the world has. Maybe that's high. 1% of the world has, and it sounds crazy, but it's really just 1 in every 100. If you bump across 100 girls, one of them's that hot, and that's the thing. I have a big old cock on my other monitor here.
Oh, yay!
Eva the Dreamers. Yeah, this is Kyle's search.
Kyle and his searches.
Guy's solid. Well, actually, he was halfway solid, perhaps, in that picture.
Oh, you scamp!
Oh, you devil, you!
Yeah.
Have you seen the Pete Holmes hit it back thing?
Pete Holmes hit it back. I don't think so.
Really?
Doesn't sound familiar. It's on YouTube. I'll have to look it up.
It is. I almost want to play and watch it together. It's 5 minutes though, so that's a lot. We don't usually watch videos that long on PKA.
What's it called?
I think it'll say Pete
I'll just
Holmes
wait
hit
for
it
you.
back. HOLMES. Pete Holmes. It even autofills. Hit it back. Hit it back monologue, March 4th, 2014. It's 4 minutes 43 seconds. Do you think this would be a good thing to watch together?
What is it?
It's a
What's he do?
monologue. So the core of it is this. The guy's a comedian. He has a late night show now, so he's kind of a successful network television comedian, like Letterman type guy. And he's doing this routine on Hit It Back. What is Kyle wearing? A fur coat?
Yeah.
Of course he is. Oh, it's a bearskin fur coat. All right. So he's doing this routine, and Hit It Back is this concept of like, someone tells a joke, laugh. What are you, a joke judge? Laugh it up. Just do it. And have we played this on PKA before, Kyle? I feel like maybe I did it in a live stream, but not PKA.
Played what?
Hit It Back by Pete Holmes. Have we done this on the show?
No. I don't believe so.
I think we can do it. I think we can show people this thing. I bet there's people who are curious about it now that I've done it. Let's watch this thing in sync. I'm queued up at 0. Now, I'll warn you guys.
I am as well.
In the, I feel like the first maybe 90 seconds, he takes a while to get to his point. But the whole thing is under 5 minutes. So hang in there with the first minute or two, and then he'll get to the point that shaped my opinion on this sort of stuff. Are you ready, Kyle? You queued up at 0?
Yes.
All right, ready, set, play.
I am ready.
I was just walking down my street in my neighborhood. This was last night, and I smiled at a woman who was walking her dog. You know, like a normal.
He
normal
looks
smile.
terrible.
Not a creepy smile, like a normal
He's not
smile.
hot.
It's the kind that's like, I forget what it was.
Something about his look's not funny.
Shit, when it was in the moment, it was so natural.
Looks like a guy you'd see at the bank.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
But
a
it was
teller.
normal, just the kind that says, hey, I see you. I see you and your dog. I see you. You. Why is it De Niro?
I like his shoes.
see you. But I'm not
I
talking
don't like
about
how his shirt isn't tucked in all the way.
It wasn't, don't ask me what's in
Blousing
my
it.
basement. It wasn't that. Just a neighborly smile. But here's why I'm telling you. She didn't smile back. No return. Yes. I don't know if you're kidding, but I'm serious. I f***ing hate it. If I smile at a stranger and she doesn't smile back, I immediately go from, hi, neighbor, to, I'm going to kill everyone you know. I'm coming after you. And right? It's a betrayal.
It's a betrayal.
Here's why I think I care. It's social grace ping pong. I smile at you, you smile back. That's how it goes. Hit it back. Hitting it back makes life better. A couple strangers smiling at each other on the street, everything's right in the world. In that moment, when you hit it back to me, suddenly babies are high-fiving each other. Dogs are wearing hats, Utopia, dog hats. It's like back in the 50s again, you know what I mean? Where dogs were, okay. I'm just saying, it's like a simpler time, sepia tone, back when milk was delivered. You're out watering your lawn, just like, howdy, neighbor. You're Southern all of a sudden, howdy, neighbor. You catch that I Love Lucy program last night? That gal's a hoot. Well, it's 3:30, time to start drinking hard liquor with a huge orange slice. Because it's the 1950s. What I'm saying is life is hard. Hit it back. Hitting it back makes life better. How? I say laugh at jokes. Indiscriminately. What are you, judging jokes in your little brain laboratory? Was it good? Laugh. Why? Because laughing's the best. My dad tells 3 jokes. 1, he calls ketchup Irish gravy. He's going to be so happy you laughed. I told you, Peter, killer. It's because the Irish use it as a gravy. Irish gravy! Go Sox! He calls coffee, even though he's not from New York. And he ends every phone call by saying, keep in touch with yourself. That's true. Regardless of who it's with. He's like, all right, Senator, thank you so much. Keep in touch with yourself. And I laugh. I laugh like you did. That's good. I laugh every time. Why? Because laughing is so much more fun than not. I got you, Pops. I'll hit it back just like you taught me to. Laugh. We all die someday. Laugh it up. Here's how I hit it back. My last name is Holmes, so I get a lot of, what up, Holmes? I get that a lot. And yes, I've heard, what up, Holmes? A lot, a million times, but I love it. Why? Because it means they're trying to play. People are being silly with me. It's so much better than talking to me like you're interviewing me for a job at Hewlett-Packard.
It's like, Peter? What is it? Peter Holmes? Holmes, you say? Oh, I have no comment on that.
Play! Be silly! I love when people say, what up, Holmes, because it means I get to hit it back. You say, what up, Holmes, to me, and your name is Anna. Guess what? I'm calling you Banana. Hell, I'm calling you Banana before you say, what up, Holmes. What is this, the DMV? You're Banana. Hannah's, Anna's, Susanna's. You're all bananas to me. Indiscriminate. Bananas, all of you.
All of you.
Here's another one. This actually happened. If I'm at a bank, and I comment to the teller on my overdraft fee, if I go, whoa, that's huge. And Daryl, probably, Daryl, he felt like a Daryl. If Daryl's behind the glass and he goes, that's what she said. I could judge, yeah, with a rain cloud over me. Not funny. Shut up. Laugh. I got you, Daryl. Not only do I laugh, I don't judge, I applaud Daryl. He means well. That's what she said. Daryl, you dog.
I like it. I get you.
I wouldn't watch it again.
I've watched it a couple times now. I felt like his pacing wasn't perfect. Like I even apologized for his first 60 seconds, and you know, he's like, yeah, Daryl, right? Daryl. I think he was named with Daryl. I think. Do you have anything else to say here at this point? But the message I loved. I love this like hit it back, social grace ping pong. What with you and your rain cloud not laughing at your joke judge in your laboratory saying that's not funny, that's not good enough. I not necessarily fake, but to hit it back. Give all you need.
That's
is
like a campaign name that you could put on a bracelet. Hit it back.
Hit it back.
Like hit it back against domestic violence. Or whatever it would be.
That'd be kind of pro-domestic violence, perhaps. Hit him back.
Hit him back. I like what he's saying, though. Like, you know, enjoy everybody's little tidbits of humor.
Yeah. If someone's giving it a
try. But that's really all he was saying.
Yeah. But I hadn't heard it said like that before. Social grace ping pong. I think that's a mind-opening term to me.
Yeah. I totally empathize with the whole getting mad when people don't smile back at you. It's really irritating because you feel like you're putting yourself out there a little bit. Like this isn't required, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shoot you a grin just to show we're being amiable, and they just scowl at you. It's a betrayal. Good word choice by him there. Yeah. Didn't like the pants or his outfit, but the word choice is pretty good.
Kids in my neighborhood, they like I would drive by, right, and then I'd obviously interrupt their little ride bike in the circle game or whatever, and I wave. Hey guys, how are you? Yeah, playing, little wave. And they just scowl at me as I drive by. It's like, you really? Because like I waved when I was a kid. I was friendly. It was like, oh, there's Mr. Carter, whatever his name was. Carter, that works, right? Doing my Pete Holmes imitation, Carter, probably Carter. And so,
yeah, it looked like a Carter.
So, and I didn't even like that about him. But yeah, so, but we waved, and these kids, the ones I live by now, do. But a couple years back, like those kids, they didn't wave, and it like I talked to Jackie about it. The kids in this neighborhood don't wave. What? Where's that Southern hospitality horseshit?
North Carolina's not the South.
I haven't heard it to be true at all.
South Carolina is the South.
But
yeah,
North Carolina is not the South?
Oh, I thought you just said South Carolina wasn't. North Carolina is still kind of the South.
I consider Virginia the South.
Yeah, Virginia's a little more crazier than it is the South.
But for people outside the U.S., or maybe you don't know geography, Virginia is the state immediately to the north of North Carolina. And I consider Virginia the northernmost state that was from the South. Virginia fought for the Confederates in the Revolutionary War. One of the, litmus tests of whether it's a southern country or a state or a northern one. And there they were. Virginia, probably one of the primary southern states that fought in that war. It
is true.
Right there. So
you can't peg down Missouri.
New Jersey,
anyway,
northern state. Some might say a winning state.
Some might say an excellent state that's not full of trash.
In the factories, it wasn't fair. We didn't have the ammunition.
I admit it wasn't fair. It was kind of a mismatch, one might say.
Yeah, they cheated.
Mm-hmm. With their superior production.
Mm-hmm.
They had the production facilities. We didn't have any down here.
You had free people. You had people.
What do you do with people? They can't rub. You can't get a bunch of slaves out there and be like, rub your hands together, guys, make some rifles.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. Clearly,
I'm sure they tried whipping the shit out of them too. Like, there's no way that you can make rifles out of rubbing your hands together.
You could have. They could be the woodworkers in the rifle making situation. They could sit there and cast bullets out of all the metal in the neighborhood and melt down the wagon wheel tread thingies and make bullets.
Mel Gibson did it.
Yes. Remember, he made bullets out of little soldier toys?
Yes, he did.
You could have had your slaves do that, whereas in the North, they had to pay people to do tasks like that.
They had to build the rifles, though, and the cannons, and the gunpowder.
All tasks that slaves could do.
None of those are skilled labor tasks.
Are you saying black people have no skills?
I'm saying
I
slaves.
heard it.
had
Did you hear it, Taylor?
skills.
I heard it.
I just don't think they had enough skills. In any case, fuck your silly state.
I've been watching this YouTuber.
I'm glad the children don't wave at you.
I've been watching this YouTuber, One Lonely Farmer, and he's a farmer from New Jersey. And every so often, I want to take one of the videos and show it to Kyle. Like, this is New Jersey too. It's not all diaper factories, used diaper factories, or whatever it is that we drive by on the turnpike. It's not all dirty diaper recycling facilities that smell like the turnpike. Right up there by exit 1516. So in Jersey, everyone identifies locations by the exit number, right? I've been through this before, but there are 3 roads in New Jersey that form a triangle, and if you say, I'm this exit on this road, then immediately everybody in the state knows pretty much where you're from. Bam, that's where I am. I'm exit this on that. And it covers like all the population centers roughly. I feel like every state should do that. Like, oh yeah, I'm exit 12 on 540. Bam. You know where that is. Instead, they just say, I'm from this town. And you're like, well, shucks, I don't really know where Carneyville, South Carolina is. Like, it doesn't help me at all.
They should do that. You should get on the line. Send that up the line.
I'll send it
We
up.
need a reform of highways in this country.
Obama, I hear you're issuing executive memos. Here's one for you.
Yeah.
We will now start referring to towns by their exit number.
Yeah, sporting events would be interesting. Like the Route 21 Falcons versus, exit 9.
That'd be great. Did you know the Devils are on exit 16W?
The New Jersey Devils?
Yeah, it's 16W. It takes 16 wins to get the Stanley Cup. And they are 16W, exit 16W. It's the coolest thing.
Oh, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's like a fun fact that you learn and then forget a little bit.
Whenever they're in the
later.
playoffs.
Like a today I learned.
Whenever they're in the playoffs, they have like a mounted steady cam, drive under 16W and head towards, I forget the name of the Devil Stadium arena. It's probably like Caldwell Bank Epicenter or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you drive right through 16W and head to the arena. It's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
All right.
So this is exciting. We got PK plastic surgery coming up. I can't wait to make that happen. I think we need to do that survival trip. I want to do that. I want it. I don't know when or where, but I want to do that. I got some work to catch up on this month, but the way I'm planning it, like I've got a lot of videos that I'm gonna cram into like 2 weeks of filming, and I'm gonna have like a month off, and I'm gonna go on a vacation and do something fun. So I'm totally up for it. Anywhere.
Survival trip in December, huh?
I mean, I got my fur coat. I got my.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, I can't see. Like, I don't know how this could end poorly at all. Like, we just go into the woods, we bundle up,
Maybe
to
hunting
stay
season,
warm, and we do our thing. I don't know how that can go bad. How that can go wrong.
If you wear your head set sideways, you look a little like Geordi from Star Trek. Merca can't do it. Merca's a nerd. All the cool kids. Oh, I was the only one left.
It was very uncomfortable, it turned out.
All right, Kyle. I keep mentioning it. It's not happening. Ad read.
Yes. Did you keep mentioning it?
Yeah, at 10:52 and then at 11:03.
Mentioning it in what way?
In the chat.
What chat are we in?
You don't see the chat at the row you put the links?
Oh. Yeah, you need to put those in Skype because then it chirps at me.
Okay. I can do that. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Let me grab my thing. Yeah, Crunchyroll.
All right, Crunchyroll. We love them. They're the Netflix of anime, except more current.
I saw a picture of a shirt on Reddit. It said anime in the street, hentai in the bedroom or something like that. I thought that was pretty good.
I like it.
But yes, Crunchyroll.com/PKA. That is your ticket to 1 month of free access to the best streaming anime service on the internet, I dare say. They get all those episodes right up to you and professionally subtitled with as quickly as an hour after they air in fucking Japan. What's the time difference, I wonder, between us and Japan? Is someone up at like 3 a.m. just transcribing Japanese anime? Because I'd love to believe that that's what's going on.
I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to estimate 14 hours before we begin.
Wow. You get access to all of your favorite anime programs, whether it's Naruto Shippuden,
14
Attack
hours.
on Titan. Oh, good call. Well, you did go there once, so that's kind of cheating. Sword Art Online. And it's all ad-free, of course, because you're paying for it. Or, excuse me, you're not paying for it if you go through netflix.com/PK, you get a free 30 days. It works on any and all of your devices, it seems, iPhone, Android, tablet, or through your television, through any number of devices. How much does it cost a month? I don't have that in front of me, but I think it's just a few dollars a month.
I'm sure. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was like right at $8 a month or something like that. So it's not even that expensive once you're out of your free 30 days. But definitely try it out. Give it a look. See if you're into anime, it seems like a real no-brainer. I guess a lot of people torrent anime, and I think when you do that, you end up with audio, video syncing issues and poor quality and such. But here you get everything.
Subtitles can be a bitch. I know we watched even Planet of the Apes. It took us like 40 minutes to get all this subtitle, like separate downloads and VLC to sync them and that crazy stuff. By the way, $6.95 a month after the free thing, so it's cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah, $6.95 a month. Not too shabby at all. And I think we're gonna do something maybe this week where we get together and watch some anime together. Would you be interested in streaming that maybe, or do you just want to do it with me and you and Shiz or something?
I'd be
kind of cool. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if we got, if we let everybody know that's, let's see, today is Thursday, so like I don't know, maybe if like Saturday night or Tuesday night or something like that, maybe.
So they'd be watching this on Saturday though, right?
Yeah, we should give them enough time to go use their free trial and get on Crunchyroll, and then maybe we do a stream like where we
Tuesday.
We watch. Yeah, maybe Tuesday at a certain time, and stay tuned in to Woody's Twitter and my Twitter and such, and we'll plan this thing. Maybe we did a thing when Joe Lozon had his last fight where we streamed, us watching the fight with the stream, and I thought that was really fun. And I think in a similar way, because I think when we watch movies together, we're a bit like, I like to think that we're a little bit like Mystery Science Theater 3000. I think we're adding insightful and funny little anecdotes as the movie goes on, and also not talking over dialogue. And I think we make the movies more interesting for each other. I find that we do. Mm-hmm. So I think we could do the same thing over on Crunchyroll.com with the fans. So I'm interested in doing that if you are.
Yeah, I'd be down.
So check them out, Crunchyroll.com/PKA for all of your anime needs.
There it is.
Yep.
Best ad read man in the business, some say.
In the call, probably not, though.
No, you did a great job. Don't talk yourself down.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
Yeah.
It's a lot coming from you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I've been very not supportive about your chin and fucked up nose the whole episode.
That was great. He was like, what else would you have done? Hey, can I recommend this?
What you really want to do is fix those bags in here. Jeez.
Yeah.
I feel like that would hurt my feelings. Like if I go into the plastic surgeon and he's like, oh, you want your nose done? That makes sense. You know what? Lipo would look good on you, and perhaps handle that chin situation and some pec implants, and we'll get you up to like a 6.
My what's the word I'm looking for? What is it when a girl is really into her looks? Not vanity. Or when a guy is only interested in women for their looks.
Superficial works.
I was gonna say my blank knows no bounds. I don't know. We'll just go with vanity. My vanity really knows no bounds. Like if the plastic surgery were free and I had an expert surgeon there, like did you ever watch Nip Tuck?
No.
Really?
No.
Try on a season of Nip Tuck for size. I think you'll like it. It is very weird. Like, so it's one of those shows where everything is normal seemingly. We're doctors, we're plastic surgeons, we live in the normal real world, and then some fucked up, funky, crazy, freaky shit will happen. Like, I don't know, one of the characters will literally get raped by a man in a gimp suit with a dildo. Like, that happened once. Like, one of the main characters It's like 7 seasons in. One of the
You're
main
not selling it.
gets raped.
Yes, he is.
By-
You shut up.
This show, it's two plastic surgeons.
Tell me
plastic
more
surgeons,
about the dildo.
and they show the plastic surgery a lot, and these guys are better than anything in real life. Like, they can take a burn victim and make him look like a movie star. And so if I had access to something like that, where like I know I'm not gonna get fucked up or like get sepsis or something, like the sky's the limit. Yeah, let's lipo my abs. Let's get some pec implants, ass implants. Let's let's put some braces here and let's straighten this out. Let's lengthen this. I think my back could use a little adjusting. Let's put me in a back brace for. I would be all for souping myself up. Through any means necessary, really. Like if there was some sort of genetic formula where I had to jam a syringe into my heart, any of that shit. When I see superhero movies where like...
Yeah, I was going to interrupt. Let me interrupt. Now, what if it wasn't to make you better looking? What if these were Bioshock enhancements where you could shoot flames or bumblebees from your hands?
The thing about that is, as I've played a lot of Bioshock, I've played all the games. When you get the what are they called? Plasmids?
Yeah. I think so.
But so let's say that you're doing the bee one. Your hand is covered with bee stings,
Chicks
and
wouldn't like
bees are
that.
crawling all over it while you're like getting ready to like throw your bees. When you do the crow thing, it seemed like crows came down and ripped you apart for a second. I know they ripped the bad guys apart, but I don't know. It seemed really painful, and you're getting superpowers. But if there were a way to make myself prettier while like dealing with some pain, I could totally do that.
Yeah, ideally you'd be able to turn it off. Like, I'd like the bee hand capability. I just
Occasionally.
need regular hand capability along with it.
Yeah, if I could be somewhere and someone was annoying me in a movie theater and I could just be like, zzz, and like a laser beam of fucking hornets would just go inside their ears, like I'd love that. I would love to I would abuse that power so much. Like, I'd be the worst superhero. I've thought about it before. Like, what if you were Superman? You'd fly around and save the day, right? No, no. I'd conquer a fucking continent. That's what I'd do if I was Superman. I'd be Super God. You wouldn't call me Superman. You would call me God, and I'd fucking burn all the religious texts in the world, and the next generation would believe I was God, and I would go from there. That's what I'd do if I was Superman. Fuck all that do-gooder shit, flying around catching airliners and stuff. 300 years from now, they'd be worshiping me, and mean it.
I feel like I'd start off doing do-gooder shit, and then I'd be like, you know what, guys? You're getting a little needy. Like, you're gonna have to deal with some of your own problems.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a fruitful life here for me too. If there's some big issue, don't think I'm gonna let 1 million people suffer. I'll end a war if I gotta. See who's right and knock that off. I'll whatever. All right, all these people are starving. I'll just water all the crops at one time. One time, though. You're going to have to come up with irrigation on your own. This was just an emergency. I think that's where I'd be. I'd be like, you guys just got to freaking learn to be competent on your own. But I got a thing I haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
It's not house talk, but it's kind of related. So not my real estate agent, but the seller's real estate agent. He was kind of famous. Have you ever heard of the boy band Menudo?
Have I? No.
I'm afraid not.
Shucks. So Menudo was like the world's largest boy band back when I was a little kid. They were bilingual, so they were Spanish and American, and they would release like these top hits, and they were interesting in that every time a kid would like age out. I don't know what aging out would mean. I guess it depended on how popular they are. Some of them, they'd let them go through puberty and hit like 19, 20 years old. Others, they'd hit 15 or something, and they're like, yeah, voice changing, you got to go. And the seller's real estate agent was in the 7th generation in Menudo. Like, he sang in stadiums with 75,000 people watching him and rocking out, and he's a legit celebrity. He's trying to get on The Voice right now, and he's 41, but he looks like 28. Like
Wow.
Like, not even one of those like, you look good, but I could still kind of tell. It's like, no, really? Like, I was shocked, and it was like, yeah, I guess he'd have to be about that age to have been in Menudo. I wonder if I look up 7th generation of Menudo, if 7th generation.
You probably don't even have to. Our listeners are so familiar with Menudo anyway in the respective generations.
Yeah.
We'll just pull it up real quick.
uh,
I don't know who the 7th generation Doctor Who is.
all right. So now I'm just
know
looking
there are
at
that many.
Menudo.
9.
Menudo the band has a Wikipedia page, and his name is Raphael. Oh, he was a backup singer for Ricky Martin. Have you guys ever heard of Ricky Martin?
Yeah.
He sang with him.
La vida loca.
Raphael, where is he? Ralphie Rodriguez? Could that have possibly been him? There's no picture of him here. Anyway, his name is Raphael, and he jammed with Menudo, and not jam, he's like legit member of the band, and he was a big deal at one time. And I'm sure he'd be on the show if we wanted to talk all his Menudo quests.
Oh, I'd love that. Do you think really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can we get him? I'm more interested in his real estate ventures.
I'd like to spend I'd like to spend 3-4 shows at least just talking about Menudo. And
How often do insulation codes come into the mix when you're selling a house like this? Really?
Yeah. Does he deal with a lot of like building coding issues? Does he have a guy he goes to for that? Like, is there a
Yeah,
fixed-
we can only hope. Oh man.
I have now figured
cool,
out
though.
that you're all mocking me.
There's lots of celebrities walking around like that. There's you see Tom Cruise, Alec Baldwin, you're like, ooh, that's Tom Cruise over there. Everybody's kind of looking, but not looking. Some douchebags fucking with him. But maybe you don't. I totally would not recognize like if a Backstreet Boy were like in the same room with me, or like I don't know, Sinbad could walk right by me. I wouldn't know what he looked like anymore because he's gotten old. There's lots of celebrities like that, and members of Menudo definitely qualify.
Yeah, I'm just Oprah did a thing, 50 years of Backstreet Boy or 50 years of boy bands. Menudo. Once a band member turned 16 or his voice changed, he was contractually obligated to leave the group.
You know what? I actually wouldn't mind talking to him because it'd be fun to ask him like about getting boy band pussy and like ask him how big of a thing that was and like how much pussy he got and like I'd like to know the specifics like do you have a guy who goes out in the crowd and he like brings back 5 hot ones and you take them all? Do you pick one? Do you get your pick? Or are you just like that one and that one? Like how do you make that happen? Because
Easy, Tiger. I'm pretty sure they were like 12 or 13, right?
It looks like they had to stop at 16. I wonder what kind of...
No, but the
debauchery.
girls watching, I mean.
well, I'm
Probably
sure,
about that age.
Get yourself a 15 or 16-year-old girl. If you're 15, she's 15. What's the big deal? I'm just saying. I want to know what it's like because I know for a lot of like people who perform on stage, let's just put everything under that umbrella. They can do that. Like if you're a rock star, you can be like that one and that one and that one and that one and the whole second row, and you can have them all if you want. And usually, if someone has already paid $300 or $400 for that ticket to come see you, they'll totally fuck you. Like that's kind of in the bag. It must be a wonderful lifestyle. Because I've got to lure them back to my home. Like imagine if there was a big event where they all came and I got to choose.
Yeah. Yeah, it would certainly sound better than luring them.
Well, I mean, I don't know how else you get them. I guess you could prod them and like drive them into your home, but luring is definitely more flies with honey, dude. Come on,
It's true.
Honey and Quaaludes, right, Bill? Bill Cosby's a rapist, allegedly.
I shucks. I'm still looking up. I want to find out which guy he is. Maybe this isn't a good on-show activity, but wait. Oh, I have his name. Raphael Rodriguez. Shit. Oh, here it is. Ralphie Rodriguez. All right. I have a thing.
Let's see what you got.
I have a link. This is him in his Menudo days. Ralphie
Oh,
Rodriguez.
Oh, that's why he's aged well. He's not. He's Latino.
Yes.
Yeah, they do that.
So not all of these, I think, are him. This is definitely him. I think these young guys are him, like top right.
Some races really age well. Like African Americans are. That's not a race of people. That's a group of people in America. Black people and white people don't seem to age all that well. Not on average, but it seems like Asian people and Hispanic people really age well sometimes. Like you'll see like a 60, 70-year-old Asian woman and she'll still look pretty good. Especially like I see stuff on Reddit like, you know, some 70-year-old sushi chef in Okinawa, and it's like, that dude looks 45. What the hell has he been eating? Oh, sushi. Yeah.
Oh, they stay in shape too. Like that, I think they just eat right, and all that.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's more
not-
shameful to be a big fat fuck over there.
Yeah,
Like
for
really,
Asians,
like you're shamed more actively just berated.
For Asians, I think maybe they eat better. For black people, I don't know. Maybe they're just genetically aging well. I'm not sure. But you're right. Sometimes they just look good. But not Bill Cosby. Guy's 70, could pass for it. If you told me he was 90, I'd be like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Bill Cosby could pass for 90. I'm glad he aged poor, that raping fucker.
He somehow caught up to Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. And Morgan Freeman's another guy who has a similar gravitas. Like when he speaks, I listen. I like to hear what he has to say about things. I don't always agree, but I like listening to his. I like listening to his voice. That's a big part of it. Everyone knows he's got an incredible voice, but I think he's an interesting story in general. You know, he didn't get his acting break until he was like 50 or something.
Morgan Freeman, this is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's who's the other one? The big guy. He played Darth Vader.
James Earl Jones.
Yes, that's who I'm
But-
looking for.
He wasn't in the suit. It's just the voice. He's not actually big.
Okay. I knew he was just the voice, and I don't know how you can deny that he's big.
You mean fat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like, because Darth Vader's like 6'7". That's what.
Yeah, I don't know how tall he is. I just telling you, the guy's shaped like a beach ball. He's big.
Yeah, he's fat. He's definitely like he's always had like a round face that was heading toward rounderness.
Yeah,
You know,
but
he was always going to be
big is what I call fat people, right? Like, yeah, he's a big guy.
heavy.
Wink,
I
wink.
like heavy.
I feel heavy.
At least heavy is honest. Like
I-
he's heavy.
I don't mean to be lying with big. I'm just, like, yeah, he's big guy. He's a big man.
He's
like,
voluminous.
I like to use the word immense. That immense man over there. That massive woman sitting.
I just nickname him Gigantor. That's all I do. Gigantor, come here. They know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Is it time to wild card this?
I think
It
so.
is.
I think that was pretty good show there. So thank you
It
guys
was.
for watching, and be sure to check out crunchyroll.com/pka. Go make it happen, because
What's that, Kyle?
Crunchyroll.com/pka. We're gonna
That's
have
better.
a anime viewing party perhaps later this week, and you should all be a part of it.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.